From the corner of Munson and Civic Center Boulevard, welcome Fanatics to Menor Ice Arena for game number 43 of your Menor Icebreakers season. Tonight, the Icebreakers hosting the Port Huron Prowlers. I'm Angelo Vallata, and thank you for listening right here on YouTube.com, your home and away home for all Menor Icebreakers games in a two-game series here at home against the Port Huron Prowlers up from the Thumb area of eastern central Michigan, also known as the Blue Water area in St. Clair County, Michigan. It's game show night tonight for Fanatics in attendance at Menor Ice Arena, and you can get here for tickets starting as low as $13, $16 for reserve bleachers, and $30 for the Founders Room Suite for the Ultimate Ice. We'll take it from the top again. From the corner of Munson and Civic Center Boulevard, welcome Fanatics to Menor Ice Arena for game number 43 of your Menor Icebreakers season. Tonight, the Icebreakers hosting the Port Huron Prowlers. I'm Angelo Vallata, and thank you for listening right here on YouTube.com, your home and away home for all Menor Icebreakers games. And I'm joined alongside color commentary and communications manager Jared Tennant. And we were back after a lengthy road trip last weekend, came home to play the Elmira Enforcers. A lot has changed as we bring the Prowlers in for a two-game series tonight. And we're going to help talk you through some of those changes that have happened internally for the Menor Icebreakers. Of course, tonight is game show night. Tickets start at just $13, $16 for reserved seats, and $30 for the Founders Room. And tomorrow is the inaugural Pucks and Paws event. So go to MenorIcebreakers.com for all that game information and for all promotion information. Now, Sebastian Ragnall will be the interim head coach leading the Menor Icebreakers. Sebastian Ragnall has been with the team over the first two seasons and has been the goaltending coach. The former Kent State Golden Flash will now lead the helm for the Icebreakers. Want to thank former head coach Ian Duncan for building the team up from the expansion and for giving us the jobs up here in the Breakers broadcast booth. But now Sebastian Ragnall will lead several new faces at Jared with 7 players no longer with the team. And I believe 8, if not 9, coming in. We're going to set the record straight for everybody on who's going to be taking the action there on the ice, because guess what, folks? The puck still drops. It won't be at 7:35. It'll be shortly, but we have to get caught up on the guys taking the ice. So, Jared, I'll let you start things off and give a little feedback on what's going on here and who we can expect to see take the ice and who not.
So I'll go ahead and recap some of the forwards that have joined the team this week. So Tyler Homard, a former Kent State Golden Flash, who actually played with Coach Ragnall while the two were at Kent State. Paul Hanna, who was a member of the Icebreakers training camp last season. Billy Rapone, and Corey Meal will be joining the team on Sunday in Danville. And then the one signing to pay attention to here is Brendan McKenzie, because he's expected to be a significant contributor for the rest of the season. Had a pretty decent year in the GMHL and just wrapped up his season overseas in Sweden.
And then, of course, no longer with the team. Want to give a big tip of the hat, especially to Nate Farrington and Alex Morrow, who have the top 2 most games played in Icebreaker history. Farrington with 94 over his Icebreaker career, a 16-39-55 scoring line. And Alex Morrow in 92 games played, a 13-40-43 scoring line. Frankie McClendon also no longer with the team. Joseph Keenan, Hatham Awade, who ironically his only goal scored was for Port Huron versus Menor here at home. Stepan Urovic and Chance Taylor. So 7 players not with the team, and the whole slew of players coming in. I want to tell you a little bit about some of the guys that we'll be seeing, especially there was also a trade made on the 27th with the Carolina Thunderbirds, the 14th trade in Icebreakers history, and that sent Yuri Pashtuka to the Carolina Thunderbirds for Ramil Talipov and Tony Lampo. These two guys will not be taking the ice tonight, but can provide a lot of promise for the Fanatics coming up, as Talipov played for two teams in the GMHL with an 18-51-69 scoring line in 58 games, where he was a member of the 2017-18 All-Star team, two teams in the WSHL before debuting for Carolina this year. In 4 games played, he has a 1-2-3 scoring line, and he will now be the youngest player on the ice for the Icebreakers when he suits up next weekend. Lampo is a Finnish forward standing in at 6'3", 217 pounds. He last year played for Esploven Division 1, and this year has a 3-2-5 scoring line in 9 games for Battle Creek, and he provides some big size and power there in his shot. Now, as far as the players that could be taking the ice tonight or over the weekend, I know we will see on Sunday probably Kent Nussbaum get the start in between the pipes for the Icebreakers. He was signed on the 27th, a 6'6", 180 goaltender from Temperance, Michigan. Before playing in the FPHL, played for the Long Beach Bombers of the WSHL from 2014 through 2016, 3 different teams in the GMHL from 16-17, and last year was 0-1 with a 3.67 goals allowed and 9.22 save percentage for Watertown in his appearance. Was the lefty. He was in Icebreakers training camp in 2018 and has backed up 6 ECHL teams only with 1 show and appearance is Kent Nussbaum. We won't see him tonight. We will see Jordan Brandt, a familiar face here for the Icebreakers, the Onway, Alberta, Canada native. Jared touched on Brendan McKenzie, who was also signed on the 27th, a lefty forward from Stouffville, Ontario, Canada, with a 5'7", 150-pounder, played for the Windsor Racers of the GMHL in 17-18 season, and with the New York Renegades, the same league last year, where he had a 21-27-48 scoring line. Tyler Homard played at Kent State University with Sebastian Ragno, as Jared alluded to. The 5'10", 195-pound lefty is a Canton, Ohio native, just a stone's throw here from Menor Ice Arena, about a little over an hour away. Ty Rickaball was signed along with Homard today. The 6', 180-pound defenseman hails from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and spent last year with the WSHL's Oklahoma City Junior Blazers. Paul Hanna, he brings a little bit of a veteranship, signed today. The lefty forward hails from Cookstown, Ontario, Canada. The 5'11", 195-pounder played with the Evansville Icemen and Battle Creek Revolution of the AHL and the Charlotte Checkers of the ECHL about a decade ago. Billy Rapone was signed today, the ready 5'8", 160-pounder from Greensburg, PA native, a 2-time NAPHL champion and a 2019 U1 USA national team member. And Joshua Lemke was signed on the 27th, 6'1", 205 defender from Cleveland, Ohio. The ready played with the Kingsville Kings and 2 stints with the team in the 15-16 and 2018-19 seasons. So those guys are all in. Farrington, Morrow, McClendon, Keenan, Oade, Jurovic, and Taylor no longer with the team. And, of course, the Icebreakers now led by interim head coach Sebastian Rangel. All that aside, Jared, we have hockey coming up, and the Port Huron Prowlers are in second place of the Western Division. So when you take a look, we talked a little bit off air about how deep the Prowlers are, that maybe they don't have the MVP of the league, but if there was ever an FPHL All-Star game, you'd see a lot of Prowler jerseys out there.
Yeah, and I think 2 guys to watch are not necessarily their 2 or 3 leading scorers. That'd be Mike Moroso and Matt Rupert. Looking at Moroso, he has 12 goals in 9 games as a Prowler. 9 of those goals have come in his 4 games against the Icebreakers. Rupert's a guy with AHL experience, former OHLer with the London Knights, and he's going to be really a player to watch. I don't think he's going to last too long in this league. Seems way too talented, if I'm being completely honest.
Yes, I know the ceiling has been lifted high for a player of his early caliber, and once again, it's the Prowlers who have been rolling in the Western Division, only trailing the Carolina Thunderbirds, who have had command over the first place spot. But the Prowlers, no slouch, almost an inverse of the record of the Icebreakers at 23-14, 4-0 undefeated in overtime, 77 points, good for a .626 winning percentage, 4th overall in the FPHL and 2nd in the Western Division. Icebreakers came into game number 43 at a 14-25, 0-3 record, still haven't won in overtime with a 45 points, .357 win percentage, 4th in the Eastern Division, good still right now for a playoff spot. Interesting matchup we'll talk about, though, as Battle Creek and Delaware are playing, and Delaware will see a lot of Battle Creek, and they see us 4 times, so we'll keep a lookout on the FPHL and for the Thunder to see if they could turn things around in the Icebreakers, currently 8th best in the FPHL. Now we're going to take a look at your starting lineups. And first, Jared will bring us the lineups for the visiting Prowlers out of Port Huron, Michigan.
Well, in goal tonight for Port Huron is Blake Scott, and that could be bad news for the Icebreakers as he has a 9-0 record on the season. Pretty good stats here, 2.36 goals against average, 942 save percentage. He's already logged a couple of victories against the Icebreakers. He's going to be tough to solve tonight for an Icebreakers lineup that's been kind of limited offensively and just lost some key pieces. But on left defense for the Prowlers is Rob Easterbrook. On the right side, Dalton Young. Left wing, Matt Rupert. Right wing, Jonathan Giuliano. And center is Matt Graham, the third leading scorer in the FPHL.
Yeah, you say some of those people and their statistics go alongside it, and it will be a tough task for Mentor to deal with all that. Port Huron, one of the deepest teams in the FPHL. Now the starting lineup for the guys in double blue, the Mentor Icebreakers, returning to their normal double blue jerseys after the live source action went off very successfully for the cancer awareness jerseys. And also want to give a big thank you to all the fanatics who helped us out. 680 stuffed animals and plush took to the ice. That over doubled the 288 number from the first year, and all that is appreciated, donated to the Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital. But tonight's lineup for the Icebreakers in that double blue, centering that line will be new captain number 13, Thomas Stewart-Dant, the Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada native. Left wing will be one of the new guys, Tyler Homard, the Canton, Ohio native. At right wing, it will be Stephen Fowler. Left defenseman, Dominic Horvath, who's the A in the captain lineup for the Icebreakers, the Toledo, Ohio native. Right defenseman will be the Pembroke Pines, Florida native, Alfonso Diaz. And it's Jordan Brandt getting the start in the Shark Tank here tonight for the Icebreakers. The righty, 6'4", 205 out of Onway, Alberta, Canada, comes in at a 3.91 record and has a 4.27 goals allowed and 8.84 save percentage. But he had a pretty good performance last weekend, if I remember correctly, Jared, saving 45 shots on goal despite giving up a slew of goals coming in. He faced a lot of shots rattling off of enforcer sticks.
Yeah, if you look at Brandt's overall stat line, it's not great, but then you look at how he's performed at home. And, of course, last week stopping 45 out of 50 against Elmira. On the year at Mentor Ice Arena, he has a 3.36 goals against, 909 save percentage, so his numbers do increase in this building.
And those starting lineups here at Mentor Ice Arena are sponsored by Ganley Village, providing everything from financing to auto service parts. They are the dealership experience you've been waiting for. And if you can't make it to the next Icebreakers game, remember to join us here on YouTube.com. Check out the Danville Dashers Road stream on Sunday, March 1st, as after this Port Huron series finishes up, they'll be headed over to Danville, Illinois at David S. Palmer Arena for the last meeting with the Dashers. So it's an all-Western Division matchup. And I think it would be a little helpful for a Fanatics listening home. We already went through the players that have left the team and now joined the team. But just to give you a few of the jersey numbers, because there's going to be some familiar numbers, but new faces assigned those numbers. So we won't see Kent Nussbaum most likely tonight, but he will be wearing number 1 for Mentor. Ty Rickaball will now wear the number 5 jersey. Billy Rapone will sport the number 7. Brendan McKenzie will rock the number 9. Still new to the team, so we'll remind you Dominic Horvath will be wearing 11. Josh Newberg will return to the 17 jersey. Tyler Homard will wear the 20 jersey. Paul Hanna, the 21 jersey. And those are all of your newest Icebreakers in the numbers they will be wearing. We'll try to keep you up to date on all that. I know it's a lot playing at home. You need a little program here, but it'd be interesting, if nothing else, to see all of these guys take to the ice. And I know, Jared, you said some of these guys may be here just for a tryout over the weekend, but that some have some potential to stick around for the duration of the season.
Yeah, obviously it was a little bit chaotic this past week with a lot of these transactions occurring. Obviously you just wish Alex Morrow and Nate Farrington the best, but it's going to be a little bit weird seeing somebody else wearing number 5 and number 9, because those two have owned those numbers since the very first day of this franchise last October.
Yeah, for having played 94 and 92 games, safe to say that through the conclusion of this season, no one will touch their most played numbers, and that is Nate Farrington with 94, Alex Morrow with 92. Great guys, and it was wonderful having them a part of the organization. But of course, we have to talk about the guys taking to the ice as we get closer to puck drop tonight, and we get set here. The Prowlers, they're definitely going to get one of the middle slots there, most likely the second or third playoff spot. The one thing I want to take a look at here, though, Jared, is you might say, wait a minute, playoffs Icebreakers. Yes, right now the Icebreakers have a 20-point lead on the Delaware Thunder of the Eastern Division. But when you take a look at the Icebreakers schedule, we look ahead and see that there are 4 straight meetings with Delaware. The only time we play anyone 4 times in a row, I believe, this year. And as you pointed out, an interesting stat about who Delaware also matches up with quite a bit over the remainder of the season.
Yeah, well, it's looking like the Icebreakers obviously are going to have to snap this losing streak at some point if they want to make the playoffs, because Delaware has 7 of their next 11 matchups against the Rumblebees. Those other 4 games during that stretch are against the Icebreakers. So things are going to have to turn one way or another if the Icebreakers want to lock down their spot in the postseason. It's far from a guarantee despite the lead they have right now.
And another interesting thing is that the home game is only one of the 4 meetings with Delaware. So we'll only get them twice here at Menor Ice Arena. The first was a loss back on Saturday, November 16th. Now, take a look ahead past this weekend where we play Port Huron and Danville. The 6th and 7th are now at Elmira at First Arena. And so then they will come home on that Sunday to play the Thunder at 3 o'clock. The following week, it's a 3-game series, 3 in a row up in Harrington, Delaware. So the Thunder get the little upper hand of getting to play 3 of the games at their own arena, in the Thunderdome as it is called up there. And the one time they have to travel up here to play Menor will be coming back from a 2-game road series. So not necessarily in the Icebreakers' favor. And you look ahead, though, we'll have to keep a look at, I believe you said, is the Battle Creek Delaware game's already underway tonight. But how important is it for the Icebreakers to keep a lookout on Delaware? But at the end of the day, I believe things are going to be won and lost here at Menor Ice Arena for the Icebreakers.
Well, at this point, it doesn't really make much sense to be scoreboard watching. I mean, you still have 15 games left in the season. You're riding an 11-game losing streak, so you really got to focus on what's going on here in this building with your team. And right now, looking at that score in the Battle Creek Delaware game, the Thunder are already on top 5-0 in the first period. So that tells you the Icebreakers need to get some wins here down the stretch. And I think that's going to be a little bit easier with some of the guys that are coming in next week. Of course, Tony Lampo and Ramil Talipov, who are both a couple of really skilled players that should help this team out.
So, yes, we won't see Talipov and Lampo suiting up this weekend, but next weekend we will, and that'll be exciting to see. They had some size, they had some scoring, some defensive presence as well. But Delaware rolling there, they know this is the chance for them to step it up and start what would be their playoff run. Look, hey, they're looking to snap a 13-game slide. They've picked up 1 point over that period of time, and they're looking to snap that slide just as Menor has picked up the 1 point over that slide as well. So we'll see. Delaware looking to rebound tonight. We'll see them shortly. Quite a bit of the Delaware Thunder. Tonight, though, it's the Port Huron Prowlers. And taking a look back at the Port Huron Prowlers lineup, and you see 65 points from Matt Graham, 54 from Dalton Jay, 46 from Federle, 44 from Zilkanich and Contrado, 37 from Portillo, 24 for Giuliano. That's all above 20 points. They are definitely stacked team, and we don't have everyone's numbers right in front of us from all the other teams, but where do you put Port Huron as far as just team depth in the FPHL?
I think you have to put them just maybe one step below where Carolina and Danbury are right now. You talked about all those scores that they have, but they've made all these midseason additions that have proven to be such huge pieces of their team. You look at Mike Moroso, you look at Matt Rupert, and those guys are top-notch players.
Yeah, and you take a look, Port Huron debuted back in 2016. They've had a lot of success. Commissioner's Cup champions in their expansion season, runners-up in 2018. So in just the first few years, they've been playing in the final dance to finish out the season. Want to take a moment and remind you that we will, when the teams take the ice tonight for introductions, we will pause and step away. We'll bring it back for Megan Brett singing the national anthem from Menor High School. But as we continue to roll here, a little bit of delay as the ice getting cleaned up now by our great Zamboni drivers here at Menor Ice Arena, as that was a little delay on the ice earlier. So not a 7:35 start. It'll be closer to an 8:05 start or just after. So just bear with us, but we will be getting close to that. I want to take a moment, though, to thank our corporate sponsors, Marco's Pizza with locations in Menor on the Lake, Willoughby, Painesville, and South Euclid, Kemp LLC, Conway Land Title, Toe Drag Apparel, CSP Insurance, Wingate by Wyndham Hotel, Market Street Family Restaurant, Global Real Estate Advisors, Spuddy's Tavern, Vitamix, Homelight, an online real estate company, Lake Erie Marine Sales, Mosaic Properties LLC, Stadium Grill, Preston Products LLC, Bethlehem Christmas Lights Park, Cana Winery, Habco Tools and Development, McGarry and Sons, Nova Southeastern University, Auburn Career Center, Fitness First, Ganley Village Automotive, JD Cleaners, and Burger IM, all great corporate sponsors of the Menor Icebreakers. And want to remind you, the next time you're here, check out our mobile team shop next to the bleachers to get your official Icebreakers merchandise, gear up for the rest of the season, and possible playoff run with the only source of official Icebreakers merchandise. And JD Cleaners, the preferred dry cleaners of the Menor Icebreakers, where customer service is their priority. They take pride in customer satisfaction by providing quality dry cleaning and laundering services while making the drop-off and pickup or delivery of your clothing pleasant and speedy. Now, tomorrow night, it's the first Pucks and Paws night at Menor Ice Arena. As we finish our homestand against the Port Huron Prowlers, there is still time to register your pup to attend with you. And our Pucks and Paws section will be in section 301 behind the goal at the north end of the rink. For more information, visit our website or stop by the merchandise table. Your dog needs to be registered, and you must have a signed waiver before you're allowed to enter the arena with your dog. That'll be exciting, though, Jared. First Pucks and Paws night in history. How do you expect you to see a lot of interesting dogs here, and will they be as loud as our Fanatics here at Menor Ice Arena?
I'm not really sure what to expect at this point, but we're expecting a pretty big crowd tomorrow night, so that's definitely going to be exciting. But while we have time here, might as well take a look around the league as all the other games have already started. And we talked about Delaware, Anton Kalinin with a natural hat trick in the first period. They're up 5-0 on Battle Creek. Elmira's edging out Danville 2-0 right now. Caroline and Watertown still tied at 0 in New York, and Danbury's on top of Columbus 1-0.
So a full slate of action here in the FPHL. When we return from the Labatt Blue first intermission, we'll bring you an update on the scores around the league and give you the Vitamix saves of the period. Want to thank Vitamix once again as they feed you from practices to game day. Our blenders help you fuel your performance and feed your life. Once again, want to just remind you of the new Icebreaker players' numbers out there to expect to see on the ice, whether they will be tonight or this weekend, just so you're familiar with them. It'll be backup goalie Kent Nussbaum wearing number 1. Ty Rickaball wearing the number 5 jersey. Billy Rapone will wear 7. Brendan McKenzie will sport the number 9 jersey. Dominic Horvath, now serving as the A captain, will be wearing number 11, the Toledo, Ohio native. Josh Newberg will return to the number 17 jersey. Tyler Homard will wear the number 20 and, of course, has spot in that starting line tonight. Paul Hanna, the veteran, will wear 21. So that is your newest Icebreakers and the numbers they will now be wearing here tonight. And again, a return to double blue. Want to thank all of our Fanatics once again. Over $9,000 total dollars raised on Cancer Awareness Night last Saturday. 100th game in franchise history. Hard to believe. It's already at 100 games. We move on to game 101 overall in Menor history and game number 43 of this secondary season. Want to give a shout out to all our Fanatics who have supported the team through all of the changes, and we look forward you being a part of it here at Menor Ice Arena or listening to us on the YouTube stream and be a part of the Fanatics here. Cheering on the Icebreakers as they look to make their first playoff run in the FPHL and turn things around. Sebastian Ragno, once again, the interim head coach for the remainder of this season, at least. He's born in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Won a national championship in 2014 with the Mid-State Mustangs. Played at Kent State University. He's coached USA Hockey's Mid-Am District camps and the leader of the ETM goaltending and development. So Sebastian Ragno also, of course, with that, has been the goaltending coach up until this point for the Icebreakers. He has a few games where he's filled in as head coach over the first 2 seasons, and he looks to pick up his first career win leading the Icebreakers at the helm. So as we get set to roll, I believe the teams will be taking the ice here in a couple of minutes. Jared, any other thoughts as we get set for the first of 2 home games here with the Prowlers and with the first time seeing a lot of these guys out there on the ice?
I mean, it's definitely going to be a tough game for the Icebreakers, just the position that they're in right now with so many players filling in this weekend. But, the guys that are still here are pretty determined. We'll see if they can maybe fight and make this one pretty close.
And before we step away for the off-ice introductions, we want to thank our off-ice officials, Scott Tennant, Greg Butala, Greg Kopp, Fred Hayer, Russ Arala, Joe Knight, Brandon Cottis, Daniel Savitz, Taylor Ruyer on game day operations. Frank Schmidt, operations intern through Mentor High School's business program. Larry Rummel, Al Moon, and Lawrence Rummel on the sound crew. Jared Tennant alongside me on color commentary and communications manager. And Casey Healy on the video stream, intern through the Auburn Career Center Interactive Multimedia Technology Program. So a big thanks to all of our off-ice officials. We're going to step away for a quick moment here for the team introductions. We will be back with Megan Bretz singing the national anthem. Megan Bretz from Mentor High School. Keep it right here on YouTube.com.
Time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and join the players, coaches, and staff in removing your caps as Megan Bretz from Mentor High School honors the United States of America, those who are serving, and those who have served with the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early lights what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, a great national anthem sung there by Megan Bretz of Mentor High School as we get set for puck drop here. The Port Huron Prowlers in their road white jerseys with black and red trim and black and red outline of numbers will move left to right to start the first period. And the Icebreakers will be in their double blue jerseys, dark blue jerseys with white and light blue trim. White numbers will move right to left. And we're just fixing something with the camera signal here, so bear with us. We will have video momentarily.
National anthem singer from Cleveland State University, Ms. Megan.
So just bear with us here as we get set for the opening puck drop. And we are underway from Mentor Ice Arena. That puck will drop all the way back down to the Prowlers net, where again it is Blake Scott, the 9-0. Blake Scott leading the charge. The Prowlers have that puck alongside the far boards. Caught up by Mentor there in the neutral zone. They'll flip it forward to Captain Stuart Damp, but the Prowlers pick the puck back up into the neutral zone. Matt Graham now finds Rupert. Rupert goes right to left. That puck taken by Stephen Fowler and the Icebreakers, who now cross into the neutral zone along the far boards. He tries to get it now to Tyler Homard, the Canton, Ohio native, making his debut for the Mentor Icebreakers, one of several new faces out there, as is number 5, Rickabaugh. Ty Rickabaugh back there, passes it between the defensive circles, works it out to Stuart Damp. Stuart Damp tries to feed that one forward to another one of the new faces, Brendan McKenzie, the number 9 tonight. And the Icebreakers on their first change, 19:04 remaining here in the first period in a 0-0 game. And here comes Josh Newberg. He's got the puck, winds up, and that one sneaks past Scott, but it bounces around and takes a favorable Prowlers bounce. Jay now works it right to left to Moroso. Moroso crosses the left side of the blue line, feeds it to Dalton Jay. Jay trying to get it back to Moroso. He'll swing things around in a U, and now trying to get it to Joe Pace Jr. there in the slot. Good job by Josh Newberg on the defensive stance to work it up to Blake Nada, and they will send that the length of the ice. Federally in a foot race to get it with McKenzie.
Pick up a 50-50 raffle ticket outside of the glassed-in concession area. Those tickets are just $1, and the winner will receive half the donated to Sub-Zero Mission to support.
All right, our apologies here from Mentor Ice Arena. We believe we have fixed the technological problem. While we were away at 16:07 remaining in the first period, it was Austin Federley fighting Matt Rupert on the right post for the goal on the second shot on goal for the Prowlers. So the Prowlers have a 1-0 lead, 14:29 remaining here. A whistle on the ice. 2 shots on goal per team, and the Prowlers with the 1-0 lead. Again, our apologies, a technological issue, and hopefully that is all sorted out. And we have our first trip to the box, and it's a Prowler going there. Brandon Contrado. He will head to the box here. We'll get you the official confirmation in just a moment while he's there. The face-off will head down here to the left defensive circle. Instead of in front of Blake Scott, it'll be Josh Newberg going up against Matt Graham on the draw there. Icebreakers win it, but heavy Prowler presence along here the near boards. Prowler's able to take control, feed it over to Rupert just outside of the circle. He'll cycle that pass all the way back to Federley at the left defensive circle. He sends a laser disc down towards Brant. Brett will come out and leave it for his 6'3 defender, Mark Steele from Danville, New Hampshire. And now taking their time behind the net are the Icebreakers. Again, plenty of new faces out there on the ice.
The Port Huron penalty to number 17, Brandon Contrado, 2 minutes for slashing.
And slashing the call against Brandon Contrado. 2 minutes, 1:21 remaining in the Lake Health power play. I want to thank our medical staff, Dr. Brian Jariga, Rashawn Bailey, Cassie Mann, and Malia Harwood, as well as Lake Health for providing medical staff and athletic trainers throughout this game and the season. Wind up there from Federley all the way down to Brant from goal to goal there, and Brant will leave it out for Steele. Almost was able to sneak through the pads there, as Federley had quite a bit of steam on that. 57 seconds left in the Lake Health power play. Prowler's first team to go to the penalty box. And now it's Mark Steele crossing over the blue line into Prowler's territory. He'll drop that one off for Fowler. Fowler sends one just behind the net. And now it's Dmitry Daniluk, the Minsk Belarus native, looking to get it. But the Prowlers send it first, and they dump it down the other way. 37 seconds left in the Lake Health power play. 13:03 here in the first period. And the Prowlers with the 1-0 lead. Catching you up here, resetting everything for you back on the stream. Thanks for joining us here, whether you're in Mentor, Port Huron, anywhere in between or beyond. Blake Nada will now send that over left to right to Stuart Dant, who sends one off the pads there of Blake Scott, and a nice defensive stance there made by his teammate, Rob Easterbrook, who didn't allow for a rebound shot. 10 seconds left in the Lake Health power play. Berger loses his footing, trying to get it back to Stuart Dant. 6 seconds left. I'm not sure if they'll get off another shot on this Lake Health power play. 1 second left. They won't be able to do so. Prowlers back to full strength, and both teams at 3 shots a goal. And a great job there by the Prowlers multiple times where they were able to send it the length of the ice for the clear.
And thanks everybody for just kind of bearing with us here. Of course, technology likes to stop working as soon as the game starts, so hopefully we'll be good and running for the rest of the game here.
Federley sends one hard off the backboards. Blake Scott in goal tonight. 9-0 record, 236 goals allowed, and a 942 save percentage, a huge part of the Prowler success. Going up against Jordan Brandt, 3-9, 0-1 with a 427 goals allowed and 884 save percentage. Hard board up there with Nada colliding with multiple Prowlers. And a whistle on the ice. 11:47 now remaining.
Might get at least a delay a game against the Icebreakers here.
So we'll see. Coach Sebastian Ragnow looking for this to be sorted out. Get explanation from the on-ice officials. We'll take a draw down here at the left defensive circle. It'll be Matt Graham going up against one of the several newcomers, Paul Hanna, the Cookstown, Ontario native. The veteran played some ECHL hockey, as we said in the pregame show, for the Charlotte Checkers just about a decade ago in the 08-09 season. How about that? Kicks forward by Ty Rickaball, playing soccer there along the far boards.
A ton of energy here from the Icebreakers. Obviously, that one goal was kind of a killer, but so far I'm impressed with what I've seen. The shorthanded roster against a pretty deep Prowlers team.
So now this face-off will be the blue line nearest Jordan Brandt. It'll be Matt Graham and Paul Hanna taking the draw. Dumped behind there by Rob Easterbrook, the Madison Heights, Michigan native. Now off the slot, off the pads of Brandt as well. Giuliano has Hanna hot in pursuit there. And Rickaball try to feed that forward to the speedy Isaiah Crawford. And now the wind-up shot on the rebound from the slot. And guess who was hanging out there? It's Matt Rupert on his second goal of the night at 11:20 still remaining in the first period. And he put himself where he needed to be for that shot on goal and ultimately score.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's just not much you can do about it sometimes with a guy like Matt Rupert out there on the ice. You know, you don't often get guys in this league with AHL experience, but Rupert's one of them, and he already has 2 goals in the first 9 minutes of this game.
And Jared, you talked about him in the pregame show, that how deep the Prowlers were. Then they add in a guy like Rupert, and that depth just got even deeper. And just like that, the hole gets deeper for the Icebreakers. It is now 2-0 here at the 11:20 mark. So 5 shots on goal for the Prowlers. 2 of them have found twine. Now Steven Fowler's looking to do so. That one bounces off the pads of the Prowlers keeper. Good job by Blake Scott keeping that one out of the net. Icebreakers still have it here in the defensive zone. And the Prowlers have a lot to cheer on here tonight, especially with Matt Rupert. 3 goals on the season, 2 of them tonight. He has been a boon pickup. This is only his 2nd game. He has more goals than he does games, and that's impressive. And again, just adds more to this Prowlers team as they try to make a surge back to the Commissioner's Cup. 10:29 remaining now in the first period. Moroso now over the right circle, jukes out his man Berger. Berger trying to stick with him. Clash sticks there. Prowlers keep it alive to the slot. And that feed over to Contrado. Contrado unable to get a good shot off on goal. 10:14 remaining now. Finally, the Icebreakers send it the length of the ice, and that'll draw the icing call against the guys in double blue. Even shots on goal, 5-5. And like you said, good energy so far for the home Mentor team. But the Prowlers showcasing their ability to move the puck around a defensive zone.
I mean, right now, I think the talent gap is a little bit evident, obviously, with the shorthanded Icebreakers roster, but Matt Rupert having himself a heck of a night so far, not even 10 minutes into the game.
Icebreakers looking to snap an 11-game slide. Delaware looks like they will be on their way to snapping a 13-game slide as they had the big 5-0 lead at the end of the first Battle Creek, although they will always, as they do in Rumblebee Country, battle back with their efforts as they can. But Mentor here trying to snap an 11-game slide, have 2 chances with Port Huron before taking to the road, and need to get something going here. That pass a little bit behind his man, but somehow Newberg fights through and gets the puck alive and feeds it back to Steele at the blue line, but taking it right from him is Austin Weber. Weber winds up, and the glove save made there by Jordan Brandt. The righty makes the left glove save, 6'4", 205. Nice save made by their Brandt. And an official timeout there on the ice at 9:39 remaining in the first period of play. 2-0 Prowlers in the lead. And we've got t-shirt time now during game show night here at Mentor Ice Arena, one of the promotions. Want to remind you, Spuddy's Tavern is the preferred restaurant of the Mentor Icebreakers. Spuddy's Tavern, located in Mentor on the Lake, will give fans 10% off their bill after Icebreakers home games when you bring in your ticket stub. And Wingate by Wyndham Lamalfa, the preferred hotel for the Mentor Icebreakers. Visitors coming from in and out of town can take advantage of special room rates when mentioning the Mentor Icebreakers corporate rate when making reservations. It looks like you have a couple of score. Is that a correct score?
That is not a correct score, but the big one here tonight is Delaware is just all over Battle Creek. They're getting Joel Eisenhower, and they really don't have much of a backup goaltender, a viable option as a backup to the Rumblebees. They're down 9-1 right now to the Thunder after that 5-0 first period. It was Jarrett Pfeiffer, the former Prowler, who got the lone Battle Creek goal in this one.
Does Kalinin have 4 goals there already?
Yeah, it's 4 goals for Anton Kalinin. Looks like Darius Davidson has a hat trick as well, so huge offensive night for the Thunder.
Well, the Thunder have woken up. I mean, because Battle Creek has battled and, even defeated Elmira, but Delaware's woken up. They realize this is their chance to get out of the basement in their expansion season from Harrington, Delaware, with only 1 meeting. A couple of games so far with the Icebreakers here and 4 still to come. So they know that the better part of their season to turn around begins tonight, whereas Mentor trails 2-0, still trying to break that slide. Prowlers win the draw. Federally bounces it back off the boards. Icebreakers will get there first. Mark Steele with the puck trying to contend against 2 Prowlers, and Prowlers win that battle. Now Weber being heavily guarded by Newberg, former Watertown Wolves player. Rebound shot by Federally, bounces off the pads of Brandt. Brandt extends himself in a butterfly position to make sure it doesn't sneak past him on the other post. And now the Prowlers, though, from the right side of the blue line. Joe Pace feeds it over left circle, bounces off the backboards. Icebreakers will retrieve the puck, and here comes Brendan McKenzie. McKenzie with Nada flanking left, but Citrone will take the puck from him. And Newberg was looking to get it to the slot there to Berger. And you take a look at goal score now for current Icebreakers, and Henry Berger has all of a sudden found himself in lone third place in both points and goals with a 4-6-10 scoring line. It's the Claremont, California native, behind Stephen Fowler and Declan Conway, still out due to injury. Of course, Conway still tied with Mark Esri, all-time leading scorer for the Icebreakers. Whistle on the ice there. 8:34 remaining in the first period. The Prowlers only with one more shot on goal, but they have made them count, scoring on just about every other shot here from Mentor Ice Arena as they lead it 2-0.
Jordan Brandt, hopefully he can recover from those 2 early goals. Brandt's been pretty good at home this season, but shaky so far on the first 7 shots of the game.
Now the draw from the right defensive circle. Matt Graham taking it up against Captain Thomas Stewart Damp, added to the team back in August to give some veteran leadership. That one will go off the safety net. Want to remind you about Moe's Catering. They cater any event, office lunches, house parties, tailgates, weddings, ballet recitals, and yes, thumb wrestling tournaments. Moe's Catering will fill your fajita, taco, and nacho bars with fresh and flavorful ingredients that are sure to please everyone. Go to Moe's.com/catering or visit our Mentor South Euclid and Mayfield locations. 2 in Mentor. Welcome to Moe's. Prowlers working it from blue line to net there. And now the windup. That one go hard off the backboards and out of play. Off the stick from Dalton J. As we head to the Labatt Blue first intermission, and that's when we'll bring you the Vitamix Saves a Period. And here at Game Show Night, it's going to be a minute to win it first intermission. Different game shows being featured throughout tonight. Don't forget Pucks and Paws tomorrow night. Register your pup at MentorIcebreakers.com. Now Young from the left side of the blue line winds up. That one gets bounced off towards the neutral zone and finally recovered by Rob Easterbrook, but now stolen by Fowler. Fowler stick handles his way over the right circle. He's looking for a man. He had Homard, but couldn't get it to him. Now behind the net and a flurry of action and a whistle on the ice. See what the call is here. It's 7:57 remaining in the first period. And we will do the face-off down here from the right defensive circle. Zachary Zulkanich looks to man up for Port Huron, the Alaskan native, up against Paul Hanna. A lot of new faces taking the draw tonight. That one flips hard off the post. Prowlers able to work the puck into the neutral zone. Dominic Horvath is there, the Toledo Ohio. We caught up with Horvath. We'll be catching up with Blake Nada for a soon-to-be featured Breaking the Ice segment. Keep a lookout on Icebreaker's social media website for that.
There's the first one of the night. Seems like every time these 2 teams play in this building, the net comes off at least 20 times a game. There's the first one.
The over-under is actually officially set at 16. Are you taking the over or under, Jared?
Definitely the over on that.
Face-off now from the right defensive circle. It will be Zulkanich once again, this time against Newberg. We got Slam in the house here at Mentor Ice Arena. Getting the Fanatics pumped up as always. Good to see Slam. Dimitri Daniel sends that one off the backboards. Federley is there, though, to get it, and he'll send it up to Moroso. Moroso drops it back now to Contrado. Contrado will feed that one past the Icebreakers, but Brent will make the low scooping save here at 7:26. Looking for the ultimate experience? Purchase tickets for a Founders Room and enjoy restaurant-quality food as well as the chance to meet the team and coaches before each and every home game. Tickets start at just $30 and available at MentorIcebreakers.com or by calling 440-290-8502. Face off left defensive circle. We're going around all the circles here in the early goings of the first period. Icebreakers will win that draw. Danieluk with the long feed. Bounces off the stick of Contrado, but right into the glove of Blake Scott. When you take a look at Blake Scott's numbers, Jared, how are we going to be able to crack the wall? We couldn't crack Mighty Joe Young on Saturday of last weekend. So what are we going to need to do to get some offensive production against a goalie of his caliber?
Well, it's not like there's one thing you can do to beat a guy like that. And just taking a look at the Icebreakers' first line tonight, Stuart Dan Fowler and Tyler Homard, who was signed before the game. Obviously, it's a bunch of guys who have not played together before. It's going to be a little bit tough, but just getting traffic in front of the net and putting pucks on net and just seeing what can happen.
I tell you what, I would not be surprised if the Prowlers were a team that could make it to the Commissioner's Cup Finals. Maybe not the exact favorite, but I wouldn't be surprised. Now here comes the good feed there from Mackenzie to Nada. And a nice-looking lead-in pass there to the left post. But who was there? Blake Scott. Maybe if it wasn't Blake Scott, that one goes into the corner. But Scott handles the 2-on-1 advantage well there.
Yeah, and that's one of those where you're only going to get so many of those chances in this game with this current roster. So you kind of wish you would have been able to capitalize there, but just got to keep going, pushing through it.
Tell you what, though, that was a nice looking pass from newcomer Brendan McKenzie, the Stouffville, Ontario native. As you talked about, he's a guy that might see the rest of the season potentially here for Menor. And he had a nice looking almost assist, although almost doesn't count. We need him to get in, but good pass nonetheless. Fowler now from the left defensive circle of Prowler country. That one, though, goes behind his man Rickabaugh. Back down, though. Hannah will feed that one off the pads there of Scott and keep it in play. Now Fowler on the far boards. He skates right up. He's only got one man to beat. Wind-up shot. Bounces back off. That's the second time the moorings have been moved. That's 2, Jared. You may be in some money tonight if only 14 more go across.
Let me get the official tracker going here.
That's 2. And we have 6:21 remaining in the first period of play. Moorings 2. We'll do a face-off left defensive circle in front of Scott. And it will be Stuart Dant, the captain, going up against, I'm trying to get a read on that number, 27, and we do not have a 27 on the roster for Port Huron.
I believe that's Sage Citrone.
Sage Citrone. Yep, okay, Sage Citrone 23 on ours, but 27 now, Sage Citrone, the Anaheim Hills, California native. I didn't know there was a Hills of Anaheim. I knew there was an Anaheim, but you learn something new every day. Now, in icebreaker territory, working that puck left to right, and a nice wind-up shot made there by Justin Portillo, actually hails from Toledo, Ohio. But a nice save made there by Jordan Brandt. When Jordan Brandt's been on, he's made some nice saves, but has let 2 through so far. Both teams 10 shots on goal apiece here at 6:04. We'll do the face-off now, left defensive circle in front of Bant. It will be Graham and Newberg on the draw. Prowlers win that one. Feed it forward, went for the deflection shot there in the slot was Graham, but took a bounce a favorable Menor way. Menor now looking to make a quick move on the counter. Blank native, the Westerville or Brooklyn, Ohio native, pushes it forward, but no icebreaker is ahead of him. And once again, thanks for joining us here on YouTube.com on this Friday night. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend. Wherever you're listening, Menor, Ohio, Port Huron, Michigan, anywhere in between or beyond, we appreciate your listenership, and thanks for sticking with us during the early technical difficulties. The team out of St. Clair County's in town, that Blue Water area, up at McMorran Arena is where they play their home games, and they've had Menor there a lot over the last month, so it's good to have the Prowlers back in town here at Menor Ice Arena. Now Rupert's going for a hat trick, and that one goes hard off the backboards. 5:10 remaining here in the first period.
Yeah, looking at that shot, you can tell why he's been in the ECHL for 5 seasons. I mean, that was just a bullet. Just went wide.
And it's hard to believe with all the people they already had, adding that too, it's like an offensive juggernaut could Port Huron be. And they also play very staunchly defensively. The last time they were here, we saw 2-0 on that Friday night in what was maybe one of the quickest icebreaker games we've ever seen, and they can shut it down as well. So that's why I say they're a dangerous team. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a good playoff run. Dalton J, he looks slot. Icebreaker's there, and luckily Brand is able to slide. He doesn't actually gain control of the puck, but he was able to tip it out in a whistle on the ice. 4:35 now remaining.
I'm going to count that one. That net did come off the mooring, so that's 3 in this first period.
So you actually, since you took the over, it needs to be 17 times, not just 16. So you need 14 more nets coming off, and Jared can retire due to his big bet placed here on the over on 16 times.
Yeah, I've got a lot riding on this one, so hopefully they can come through for me.
Now behind the net, it's Henry Berger, the Claremont, California native. Flips that one toward, trying to get it to Crawford, but the pass didn't quite have enough steam to get there. Prowlers retrieve it, avoid the forecheck from the Detroit native. Down there also helping out is Paul Hanna. We said his name quite a bit tonight. He brings some veteran experience as well, having played for over the last decade, including for the Charlotte Checkers of the ECHL. Now the Prowlers avoiding the forecheck. That's number 7, Billy Rapone out there, the Greensburg, Pennsylvania native. A couple guys from the PA area signed this weekend, some more local talent or regional talent, if you will. Federley now has it at center ice, looking to make his move. He's got some speed as well and slides it through traffic, but Brandt gets there before Zulkanich, and now Rickabaugh, Zulkanich, and Hanna. And a strong grapple there. The officials will separate. Now, one thing we have seen, and we saw it in the first period last Saturday and a little bit Friday night as well, too, is the Icebreakers are still all the crazy changes made, showcasing some energy. But it's hard to have that total chemistry when a lot of these guys were just signed in the last 2 days.
Yeah, I think you're seeing it early on here. I mean, these guys that are here are extremely motivated right now. Obviously, Matt Rupert scoring 2 goals. Not much you can always do about that, but guys are playing hard. I'm impressed with what I've seen so far in terms of effort.
Yeah, these guys treating it as a tryout, a chance, an opportunity. You know, when guys leave or guys step down for whatever reason, that leaves an opening because the puck still drops when the puck still drops, so somebody's going to be out there. This is a chance for a lot of guys to get some playing time and a chance to play this weekend and maybe stick it out for longer depending on how they provide on the on-ice product. Fowler looks to get it to Stuart Dan. Thought I heard a whistle. It's just a good fan whistle there. Shot there by Horvath. And I've liked what we've seen from the Toledo Ohio, Dominic Horvath from St. John High School. He has provided some experience despite being a younger guy.
And he slotted in pretty nicely. He's one of the starting defensemen alongside Mark Steele. 2 newer guys who really have settled down that first defensive pairing and take control of it pretty nicely.
Yeah, righty, 6'1", 205 pounds. Toledo, Ohio native. That's why the Breaking the Ice will be releasing is an all-Ohioan. We'll also catch up with Brooklyn, Ohio native, the lefty Blake Nada, 6 foot, 180 pounds. So look for that over the next week. Now it's the Prowlers with the puck behind the net. And they're feeling the forecheck from Fowler, who's been down in the thick of things over the first period. That one goes to the rafters. Hey, it's game show night. We just played Plinko.
The Icebreakers always like to make special mention of our corporate partners.
From The Price is Right, 2:54 here in the first period. Again, Icebreakers, 6:30 puck drop tomorrow night. Danville, Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Make sure you check out our stream tomorrow or join us here for Pucks and Pauls, and then the Dashers stream on Sunday. And don't forget the remaining home games. It's a great way to get together with friends and family. Discounted tickets for a group of 10 or more people. Just go to BennerIcebreakers.com. Few home games left. You can make it happen. Nice shot there. Goes just wide left from Tyler Homard, that Cannon, Ohio native. And you got to think for a lot of these guys from Western PA and the Northeast Ohio area, it's pretty exciting for them to get to don a professional uniform right in that area.
There's a couple of guys making their pro debuts tonight, including Billy Rapone for the Icebreakers.
Meanwhile, good job by Brandt. He ricochets that puck out a few times. Good pad saves there. And, yeah, it's exciting. I mean, these guys are hungry. You know, they don't have anything guaranteed. Some of them were signed for the season. Some were signed part-time opportunity. But one way or the other, this gets them some exposure, gets them out there on FPHL ice, pro ice, a chance to make something happen in their area from they're from, and maybe have a chance to stick around or find another opportunity in the league. So 2:15 now remaining in the first period. It's Prowlers 2, Icebreakers 0, and it's Matt Rupert 2, Icebreakers 0. Had a lot of success with the Indy Fuel of the ECHL and adds another weapon. Nato went for the wind-up shot there, but stick clash with Zulkanich. Here comes the Prowlers, and the quick Dalton J crosses the blue line left circle. Wind up Brandt with another deflection save. Brandt's getting a lot of deflections, which is great, but at the same time a little dangerous because guess what? The Prowlers might capitalize on the rebound maybe better than most teams in the FPHL.
Jordan Brandt right now is top 14 out of 16 after that tough start, really settling in, which is definitely good to see if you're an Icebreakers fan.
I thought the net came off there, Jared. I was ready to tally it.
It did. That's number 4.
4 in the first period, so actually this is a perfect bet. I feel like Vegas made it because we are on pace right for that over-under number 16. 16, though, would be a push, and you wouldn't make the money.
Yeah, I'm still confident. We still got 2 periods left to go. I think they can do it for me.
And second period's always pretty wild here at Menor Ice Arena for one reason or the other, so you're probably good for an extra 1 or 2 in the second period. We got a Prowler in the box. That's Zachary Zulkanich. He'll spend the next 2 minutes, which will carry over to the first period, despite it, unless a Menor Icebreaker goal comes through, which of course they like. The Lake Health Power Play Icebreakers just under 12% on the year. Prowlers at 84%. The numbers don't match up in Mentor's favor, but they're going to try to make it happen. Quick off the draw there, Newberg, but it would have been a good shot on goal. No one was in front of him except for the goaltender, Blake Scott, but it went off the stick clash there in the right circle.
Well, it's a hooking penalty on Zolkanich, but good to see Isaiah Crawford here getting some power play time.
And that one brushes against the side of the net. Crawford trying to use his speed. He's fending off 2 Prowlers. He works it back right circle. He cuts back. He looks, sends it blue line. He finds Steele. Steele's looking for the deflection shot. And Ty Rickaball was looking for some magic in scoring his first goal for the Icebreakers, but took a Prowler bounce back out. 1:23 left in the Lake Health power play. And 55 seconds overall to play as we head towards the Labatt Blue first intermission. When we return, we'll bring you scores from around the league, as well as the Vitamix saves the period. A loose stick out there on the ice. Crawford crosses right circle, drops it up for Fowler. 1 minute, 5 seconds left in the power play. That pass a little bit behind his mind. 37 seconds here left in the first period. And it's Mark Steele back crossing his own blue line. A little sideways pass to Crawford. Crawford cycles it back now to Henry Berger. Berger taking his time. He'll go across his own circle. Swap circles there with Alfonso Diaz. Now feeds it over to Diaz, right to left, up to Stuart Dant. Stuart Dant taps it to Daniel. Daniel flips it forward like a quarter behind the net, trying to get there first of the Icebreakers, but the Prowlers will send it the length of the far boards. 8 seconds left now in the first period. 28 seconds in the power play, brought to you by Lake Health. Once again, thank you to Lake Health. Now we're going to get double zeros here on the scoreboard at the end of the first. It's the Prowlers 2 and Mentor 0. And Jared, as we head to the first intermission, it was Matt Rupert goals 5 minutes apart in the 11 and 16-minute mark of the first period. And that's where we stand going into the first break.
Yeah, all things considered, really not a bad period from the Icebreakers. You know, shots on goal pretty even, 16-13 in favor of the Prowlers. Jordan Brandt had some nice saves after that tough start, but the only 2 goals in this game were scored by Matt Rupert, a guy who's going to put up points in almost every game he plays in this league just based on his resume. So not much you can do about that sometimes, but overall, you'd like to see some more offense, but not a bad period.
Yeah, still what we're looking for is offensive production to keep it away from the opposite net, and then Brandt doesn't have to block everything coming his way. But we'll see what happens. A good energized effort the first period. We're going to step away here at Mentor Ice Arena, where once again the score is at the end of 1. The Prowlers 2 and the Icebreakers 0. Keep it here on YouTube.com for 40 more minutes of hockey. Welcome back to Menor Ice Arena, where the score is Port Huron 2 and your Menor Icebreakers 0. It's game show night here at Menor Ice Arena. Remember, tomorrow's Pucks and Paws night. And Jared, with it being game show tonight, I got a quick game show question for you. Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready. Go ahead.
All right, so it's a little multiple choice question. When has it ever been this cold from the Breakers broadcast booth? A, last weekend. B, never. C, never, ever. Or D, never, ever, ever.
You know, it's a tough one. I'm going to have to go with D on this one. You know, I had to get the jacket in the first intermission. Doesn't actually happen very often, so we're freezing. The hands are about to freeze off here, but we're going to power through.
I feel like we might as well just suit up on the ice because it's probably this cold on the ice. I don't know why. And correct me if I'm wrong, but sometimes we've talked about how warm it is up here.
Usually I'm, taking off the layers, getting warm, but right now that's not the case.
No, it is not. Now, the Vitamix saves of the period here from the Chili Breakers broadcast booth. It's 13 saves by Blake Scott, and with a 9-0 record, something you would come to expect. 14 of the 16 shots on goal saved by Jordan Brandt, the Alberta native. And Jared's going to take another quick look in the FPHL scoreboard.
A pretty good game right now between Danbury and Columbus. The River Dragons were down 1-0 early. Now they've taken a 3-2 lead. Former icebreaker Vaughn Clausen has a goal for Columbus. Looks like Caroline and Watertown still tied at 0. 3-3 between Danville and Elmira. Looks like the Dashers were actually down 3-0 and came back to tie things up in the second period. And the big story tonight, Delaware all over Battle Creek, 10-2 score. Anton Kalinin has 5 goals on the night. Had a natural hat trick in the first period, added 2 more in the second period. And right now, heading into the third, double-digit goals for the Thunder.
Any chance to find, that's probably their most in franchise history, I'm sure. What is the record for most goals in a game, in an FPHL game?
They've got a long way to go for that. I believe it's, I want to say 16 or 17.
No, I mean for a individual player, I should say.
Oh, for a player. You'll have to pull out the encyclopedia on that one.
Yeah, I know the number is, it might have even been 19-3, I feel like. So I don't think they're going to necessarily catch that number as a team, but 5 goals gives them, I'm guessing, a realistic chance. Then that gives them a realistic chance to maybe have most goals scored in a game. I mean, 5, it can't be too many more than 5.
You know, in the 10 years this league has been around, there have been some crazy things going on, so nothing would surprise me for that
Something
record.
crazy in the FPHL? 19:56 left here in the second period, and we're just underway. 15 seconds remaining in the Lake Health power play. Not much left, and looking for a shorthanded goal here is the Prowlers. I don't think I see a single fanatic here without a jacket on tonight. And now at the other end, 5 seconds left. 3-2-1, and the Prowlers kill it off there and add on to their 84 percentage. Men are just under 12% on the power play this year, and they actually started off pretty strong on both power play and shorthanded goals early, and that number flipped around quickly. And the Icebreakers behind the net. Want to remind one other new player. We went through everybody, but it was a late addition. Didn't think he would be here for today's game and just starting tomorrow. But Joshua Lemke also signed on to 27th. He's wearing the number 14. 6'1", 205 defender from Cleveland, Ohio. The righty played with the Kingsville Kings in 2 stints with the team in 2015-16 and 18-19. Joshua Lemke will be the number 14. We've seen him out there in a couple shifts out here on the ice. And a whistle there on the ice at 18:15 remaining.
Yeah, it's number 5 on the net there coming off. Number 2 for Jordan Brandt's side.
Only a minute, 10 seconds in. Jared trying to keep par here. He needs to keep that number going up. 16 is the number he needs to beat. And one thing we were talking about a little bit before the break is with all the changes, I think so far for Coach Ragno, a lot of these guys who are hungry for spots on the team have showed a pretty energized effort.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're seeing it every shift with these guys. You know, there's not really that lack of energy that we saw in recent weeks. I think it's a little bit of a pleasant surprise here tonight with all these new faces.
And they are hungry. Like you said, at least a couple are making pro debuts tonight, if not first trip for Icebreakers or maybe first FPHL or number of different stories. So they are hungry for a spot. Dalton J feeds that one just past the right post, and Icebreakers will beat him to it on the rebound. Thanks again for joining us here on YouTube.com. Your home and away home for Mentor Icebreakers hockey. Oh, they had Crawford there on the right side. They couldn't get it to him in time. He would have been open for a possible shot on goal. And now here comes the Prowlers, quick on the counter. Moroso skates above the left circle. Just like the temperatures here in Northeast Ohio. It started off at 50 degrees. We went down to the 10s here over the last couple days, and apparently we're going to be at 50 again on Sunday. What a strange weather week here, and cold on the inside and outside here. 17:52 remaining now in the second period of play.
You know, looking at the Prowlers netminder, Blake Scott, he's one of those guys that you really hope that pretty soon here he'll get a shot in the SPHL, because these last two seasons really, or this season really, he's been a breakout year. He had a .947 save percentage, 2.33 goals against average with Watertown, and he's almost matching those numbers with Port Huron after his rookie season last year. Former Liberty University, played club hockey there.
Hard board up there by Citrone and Nada down here in the corner. Liberty University, actually, former Browns head coach Sam Ratigliano's son, Paul, is the assistant athletic director there.
And no one else will know that except for you.
I have a mini encyclopedia compared to yours, as that's Ilkanit's trying to clear that one away. 17-17 remaining here. The Prowlers have led the season series, winning 7 of 8 contests and 3 of 4 here in Northeast Ohio. Last win for the Icebreakers came on November 23rd against these Prowlers, 6-3 against the guys up from McMorran Arena, where they're cheered on by Mitz the Cougar. And look at a fast break in here. Very cat-like was Giuliano, but Berger will beat him to it, feed it up along the near boards. Prowlers now cross it into the neutral zone. Looking to get it up to Matt Graham, who I believe had a field day here the last time at Mentor Ice Arena. Now the new number 7, Billy Rapone, Greensburg, Pennsylvania native, back out there. Prowlers will retrieve possession of puck, up 17-14, shots on goal. Giuliano tries to beat his man, and Ty Rickabaugh sends him ricocheting off the ice. A big hit there by the Johnstown, Pennsylvania native. Same city that Coach Sebastian Ragno hails from.
Yeah, right now you're seeing a lot of the Icebreakers just having trouble gaining the zone on offense, which I think is partly a product of all these new faces not playing together for very long. It just seems like over and over you're seeing the Icebreakers trying to get into the zone and the Prowlers just send it right back.
And in the Icebreakers defense, you know, a lot of these guys didn't even make it in time for morning practice, so just their first trip out there. We'll see how they rebound even tomorrow and then going forward. And but yeah, it is tough when you don't have that chemistry. I also want to give a big shout out. Former Icebreaker Austin Rodebush, called up on January 16th, was the SPHL Player of the Week, and Rody's tearing it up there for the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs. He's been very impressive, including a shutout victory. But so good for Austin Rodebush up there in his first month in SPHL action.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Austin's going to be coming back here, but you know, he's posting even better numbers than he did with the Icebreakers, and it's really good to see, just to see the team developing players and setting them up to the next level, which is always the ultimate goal of this league.
And Rodebush with a big frame, too. I think the combination of skill, work ethic, he played every minute until he got injured. And now here comes the Prowlers. We'll tell you about that in just a second on a 2-on-1 advantage to Jay. Jay winds up and puts it back left corner behind Brant. Brant saw it coming, but not much he could do with the 2-1 effort coming his way. 15:30 remaining in the second, and the Prowlers jump out 3-0.
A really bad turnover there from Dominic Horvath, and he knew it right away. Giving up that 2-on-1 break to this Prowlers team is so dangerous, especially with all the speed that they have up front. But that was Mike Moroso. That's his 10th goal in 5 games against the Icebreakers.
That's not a bad number, that's for sure. Again, though, to finish the thought on Rodebush, with his work ethic, his workhorse ability, his size, and his talent, he's a guy that I could see making up to the ECHL and possibly even beyond. So good for Austin Rodebush on getting an early honor his first month as a member of the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs, one of the 10 teams in the SPHL. So 15:30 was that score. We got 15 remaining. Port Huron scoring on 3 of their 19 shots on goal. We'll give you the official scoring confirmation here in just a moment.
His 27th of the season, scored by number 92, Dalton Jay. Assisted by number 48, Mike Moroso.
So it was Jay from Moroso.
And Zolkanich also on the assist. He found Moroso had it there at the top of the right circle, and he fed it over left side of the post there, and Jay finished it done. Dalton Jay, he's been a thorn in the Icebreaker sides in the past as well, and Dalton Jay now picks up goal 27, .55. He's pretty much even goals and assists at a 27, 28, 55 scoring line, good for second best in Port Huron. And again, you just look at their scoring. Matt Graham hasn't picked up a point tonight, yet he has 65 points on the season. Neither is Austin Federley at 46. Zolkanich picks up his 45th point. Catrado has no points, and he has 44. Just on any given night, the point here is that the Prowlers have so many men who can beat you. I've seen there was a night, Federley just recently had a hat trick, and there's so many guys that can beat you on any given night that, especially for a team trying to find its moorings and feet here on the ice for the Icebreakers, it's a tough team to contend.
Yeah, I think something that's hurting the Icebreakers tonight that's definitely hurt them in recent weeks is a lack of their leading scorer. Declan Conway's been out with that shoulder injury. Hopefully he can get healthy pretty soon and try to help this offense out.
Also, another guy out right now who was starting to play pretty hot. He was picking up points down a tough stretch for the Icebreakers. One of the lone point scorers was Richie Pitkowski. He was playing his best hockey with a 3-2-5 scoring line, but he was playing some of that best point at the other end. And at the other end of the ice, it's one of the newcomers scoring. That's Billy Rapone from the left post there, and he gets the Icebreakers on the board. The Greensburg, Pennsylvania native makes sure this won't be a shutout and ends what was going on 6 periods of no score for the Icebreakers, and that is the jolt that Coach Ragnow's squad needed. Big credit there to the newcomer.
That's a pretty good way to make your pro debut. Looks like Isaiah Crawford started that play by just barely staying onside to bring the puck into the offensive zone, and from there they just kept feeding it until they found her opponent on the backside.
And Jared, that's how you get a chance to stick around longer, as you do things like that. So Billy Rapone just signed today, wasn't even here for practice, the 5'8", 160-pound righty from Greensburg, PA. And he does have some strong heritage, 2-time NAPHL champion and a 2019 U1 USA national team member. And just like that, the energy here at Mentor Ice Arena has changed, because whether they can come away with the win or not tonight, they have been looking for something to celebrate. A jolt in the arm, no goal scored last Saturday. They received that big jolt tonight, and it was from one of the new guys. So big credit there to Rapone. And that came just after the Port Huron score. That was from Crawford to Rapone, from right to left. And Jared, I mean, can you tell the energy? I mean, you can hear it probably here on the broadcast from the Fanatics that is a change of pace of what has been recent.
Yeah, that's what, their first home goal in the last 5 or 6 periods. That's definitely a big one.
Oh, that is correct, because, and a wind-up shot rebound the other way, and just like that, Port Huron swings the momentum right back their way, and I think that was Moroso. He'll get on the scoring line once again, 4-1. But you were correct, it was 3-2 at the end of the second period against Elmira. They were shut out that third period on Friday night. They were shut out the length of the Saturday game and shut out the first period. So this would have been going on the 6th period without a goal. Rapone makes sure that doesn't happen. However, the third goal over the last minute and a half, 2 for Port Huron, 1 for Mentor, has just come. And we'll get that official scoring, but I believe it is Moroso this time.
So Mike Moroso has only played in 5 games against the Icebreakers. 10 goals, 3 assists, 13 points. That's tied for the most points any Prowler has against the Icebreakers this season.
And it is Moroso. Wind-up shot at the other end! Dimitri Daniak from right to left. Oh, it's crazy here from Mentor Ice Arena. We can't finish one thought before another puck finds Twine. And all of a sudden it's 4-2, cutting the lead in half, the most dangerous lead in hockey. And the Minsk Belarus native, Dimitri Daniak, scores a goal. And for Dimitri Daniak, his 2nd goal on the 19-20 campaign.
And all of a sudden, this game's starting to look a little bit like those Port Huron versus Mentor games we saw last season, where it seemed like each team was scoring 8 or 9 goals a game. Of course, it's a limited sample size, but still, it's a little bit of a change of pace compared to what we've seen lately.
Who could forget the 11-7 effort shortly after the the Super Bowl on February 9th. And Jared, I tell you what, 4-2 doesn't look so bad. Even compared to 3-1, 4-2 seems like you're equal in the fight. I mean, this is a change, a huge change in momentum.
And at the same time, you do want to settle things down a little bit. You don't want the Prowlers to go back up by 3 because when you're within 2, you're at least within striking distance. It's a tough lead to overcome, especially with an offensively challenged team like the Icebreakers have been. But at the same time, that 2-goal lead is still, it's not insurmountable.
Fowler and Stuart Dant on the double assist. Stuart Dant gets it to double digits. He was taking away that one game, and we thought he got his 10th point. He now has a 3-7-10 scoring line. Fowler picks up point 22, 8-14-22. Dimitri Danik, 2-7-9 now on the score. And this is where you need to use that energy to get a defense going, and maybe a counter like that, but he fell to the ice on his try, is homered, and that will draw the whistle. But all of a sudden, the Fanatics have been woken up here at Mentor Ice Arena. 4 goals scored there in a short stretch. 4 goals from 15:30 to 12:16, and it was 2 for the Prowlers. And, 4 goals, but it was first the Prowlers, Dalton J from Moroso and Zolkanich, then Crawford to Rapone, then Moroso scored, and then they traded it right back. Daniel off of the assist from Fowler and Stuart Dant, and I think that second one is so impressive because that dagger right back from Port Huron against a young Mentor team could be too much to overcome and be the point where it was over. That one bounces off of Brandt, but good recovery there by Horvath. I mean, that's a huge thing to do, to come back after giving up that Prowler goal to score right back 20 seconds later. Now, the Icebreakers back on the Lake Health power play. 4-2 is the score. Minute 38 remaining here in the second period. And we want to thank Lake Health once again for providing medical staff for tonight's training game, as well as training facilities for players to use all season long at the Live Healthy Fitness Center, where you can keep your New Year's resolution goals going strong here into the spring season. So again, 11:32 remaining, second period from Mentor Ice Arena. 4-2 is the score. Breadbasket save made there by Scott and Horvath on the shot. 1:11 left in the Lake Health power play. Jonathan Giuliano in the box.
You know, I like that shot from Horvath. One of the issues with the Icebreakers power play in recent weeks has been just not taking the shot when it's there, but that time he saw he had an open look at the net and just ripped it. I had no problems with that.
We haven't seen so much of that close to the blue line steamy shots in a while, so I agree. That is a welcome sight to see, a little action that doesn't get you out of position, too, if you have to cycle back defensively. And that one will go the length of the ice. Brandt will come out to get it. And how about cracking that wall of Blake Scott, 9-0. Only gives up 236, and he plays some stiff competition. We have him at 2 right now. Blake Nada across the blue line. The quick counter, though. Here comes Matt Graham, who's been held off the point so far. He tries to get that one. Brandt comes out and taps it out. And I think the Thunder, is that true, Jared? Another one for the Thunder?
No, that's not true. Actually, it's 12-2 now.
So it wasn't 11. They added 2 goals. That has to be, without even looking, most goals in Thunder history. I'm just going to take.
Absolutely. Anton Kalinin now has 6 goals on the night.
We do need to make do on our promise in the second intermission and see if we can find the most goals scored in a game by one player. Now behind the net, Icebreakers trying to work that one back out. Game show night, Pucks and Paws night tomorrow. Join us here, be a part of the action, looking for a deflection, bounce back out. Power play will expire, Prowlers return to full strength. But how about this, Icebreakers down 2 and only trailing 22-19 on the shots on goal. Dalton J, a beautiful pass there to who else? Mike Moroso keeps the flow going for the Prowlers, and he makes it 5-2.
Yeah, well, that time looked like Moroso just outskated his man on the backside and kind of created a breakaway out of nowhere. It looked like it was kind of a harmless 2-on-2 situation till Moroso beat out his man.
But Jay set it up with the beautiful assist center to Moroso, and it starts with passing. And those two have hooked up for a couple of scores. It was Moroso Zolkanich to Jay. Now Jay repays the favor back to Moroso, and all of a sudden 5-2. So kills a little bit of the momentum They don't score in the Lake Cal power play, give up a goal. Teams like this young Icebreakers struggle with keeping control of a momentum. They're not sure how to do it yet, but I like the effort. I like the energy, that's for sure.
And unfortunately for the Icebreakers, they're going to head to a penalty kill here, which is not good news considering the Prowlers have the top power play unit in the league at 24.7% on the season, which is kind of a crazy number to have at this point in the season.
Over double Mentor's
in.
number, too. So we don't want to put him there, and it's Newberg going to the box. Meanwhile, can't keep Contrado off the scoreboard. He picked up the secondary assist there. So 2 minutes against the Icebreakers, 5-2 Prowlers. This game was 2-0 at the end of one. There have been 5 goals scored in 5 minutes. From the 15-minute on, it's been absolute pandemonium here for Mentor Ice Arena. Federley feeds it left circle to Jay. Jay back to Federley, center blue line, sends that one. Look for the deflection there to Justin Portillo, but he sends it into the safety net. We want to thank our off-ice officials, Scott Tennant, Greg Butala, Greg Kopp, Fred Hayer, Russ Arella, Joe Knight, Brandon Condis, and Daniel Savitz. Taylor Ruyer and Game the Operations, Frank Schmidt, Operations Intern through Mentor High School Business Program, Larry Rommel, Elmoon, and Lawrence Rommel on the sound crew, Jared Tennant alongside me, Communications Manager and Color Commentary, and Casey Healy, Intern through the Auburn Career Center Interactive Multimedia Technology Program on the video stream. 9:24 here in the second period, minute 32 left in the penalty kill. The Icebreakers 82% on the man disadvantage. Oh my, Delaware again. The Thunder is lightning quick on the scoring tonight. Rebound shot there, Portillo kept it alive. Graham was looking for his first point there on the rebound. Minute 10 still left. Jay sends a laser just off the backboards. Good job by Stewart Dant to feed it to neutral zone, but it's Federley there to pick it up. Austin Federley, the Port Huron native, grew up in the Blue Water area, and now they're trying to capitalize here on this power play to extend that unbelievable 25, just under 25 percentile mark. And now off the board to Federley outside the circle. Good interception there by Steele, but Portillo trying to swing it around. He's got Federley back by the left side of the blue line, and he'll get it there to Austin. Austin now. Right side to Rupert, who scored the 2 first period goals. To Portillo, and he had a chance to wind up at Horvath. Extends the length of his stick, so he changes the trajectory there of the shot. 21 seconds left in the 5-on-4 advantage for the Prowlers. Giuliano moves out of the way, gets it up to Moroso. Moroso winds up, hard shot off the left post. He keeps it alive. Swings it around now, back right side blue line. Federley, left side to Young. Young looking. Surveying goes for the deflection off the edge of the stick of Giuliano, but it goes off the backboards. 3 seconds left in the advantage. Moroso's trying to pick up another point here. He's had a strong period. Young has it, but the Icebreakers, good job on the penalty kill against the top-ranked power play in the FPHL. That one goes off the crossbar and behind the net. Man, that puck's rattling off each part except didn't find twine, luckily for the Icebreakers, as Okanich and Steele talking a little bit after play, the officials skating in the way.
You know, I hate to focus so much on a different game going on, but some crazy stats in that Delaware game. Thunder on top of the Rebel Bees 13-2. Evgeny Demin has 7 assists. I think there's 6 different players with at least 5 points. Anton Glennon has 6 goals. I mean these offensive numbers are just crazy. Christian Borman has 5 assists. 4 goals for Darius Davidson.
5 assists and a goal for Mark Anthony Simonetta. Unbelievable. Yeah, we'll have to do a little digging in your encyclopedia in the second period intermission, the Labatt Blues second intermission, and see if where Kalinin stands. That is an impressive number nonetheless. Most Icebreaker goals in score team history is multiple guys with 4. That 6 is definitely a very impressive number. Most goals in game. Drake Hunter back on November 30th, 2018 versus Watertown, and Declan Conway with 4 this year, December 13th of this season at Battle Creek. So Kalinin with 2 more than that tonight. And we get set to return here for the official timeout. I want to thank Dr. Brian Teresa, Rashawn Bailey, Cassie Mann, and Malia Harwood, as well as Lake Health for providing medical staff for tonight's game. and throughout the season. And we want to once again thank you for listening here, whether you're in Mentor, Ohio, Port Huron, Michigan, anywhere in between, to be honest. Slam throws some t-shirts out here to the Fanatics on hand. Game show night, Pucks and Paws, register your pup at Mentor Icebreakers Arena. Puck drop at 6:30 tomorrow. And again, a thank you to Megan Bretz singing the national anthem before tonight's game from Mentor High School.
You know, I hate to do this to the Icebreakers here, but tonight Anton Kalinin has more goals than they've scored in a game since December 26th, so that kind of hurts.
And that was a fantastic game over the Danbury Hat-Tricks, probably one of the most entertaining games from an Icebreaker fan point of view. Here comes Crawford using all that speed to cross the blue line. He's cut off eventually by Young, who flips it nearingly out of play, but I don't believe that's the whistle at 7:22. 6-5 hat-tricks on Boxing Day was a fun game for the Icebreaker fans. Austin Rodebush had a tremendous performance, including a jumping save where he made in a seated position, and a fun back and forth game, that's for sure. Cool thing is you can go back on youtube.com and watch any of these on the Mentor Icebreakers channel. Or if there was a crazy game for your team, like the Port Huron Prowlers, you can go back and rewatch those easily on youtube.com. It'll be the Dashers having the stream on Sunday, but we'll be back first tomorrow night. 6:30 puck drop. We'll start about 10 minutes beforehand. And Pucks and Paws night bring you the second game of this weekend series. It'll be interesting to see how the energy and momentum carries over from tonight.
Yeah, but right now we got 7 minutes left in the second period, and I think the Icebreakers like to score more than 3 goals in a game for the first time since January 20th. That'd be a good step in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, the 4-2 win over the Battle Creek Rumblebees on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Icebreakers trying to get back to that. Heck, Jared, you never know. This game could be crazy. They might even score 6 goals. And now, Danieluk flips one for it. I think we've seen some strong, renewed effort from Dimitri Danieluk tonight.
Yeah, definitely on that goal especially. It was wide open on the back door. Just really nice finish from Dimitri. And on the season, he hasn't really done much offensively, so definitely good to see him getting involved in the score sheet.
And he's one of those guys that can provide some play from the blue line, so it's good to see that. We saw that shot from Horvath. The breadbasket save made, of course, by Blake Scott, but we are missing some of that steam from the outside since we've been struggling to get in so close, and we're going to beat back the other way on the counter against a lot of these faster, very talented and high chemistry teams. Now Fowler feeds that one back to Stuart Dant. That one's going flying everywhere. Back to Port Huron control, and they'll feed it right to left. No one's able to keep possession. Stuart Dant, the captain of the Icebreakers, now looking to see what he could do. He skates around his man, Grimm. Oh, and he takes a hard hip check there from Jonathan Giuliano. He'll feel that in the morning. Ouch. He gets back up. He'll be fine, but that one was right to the gut. Fowler skates between the circles. Beautiful feed there, and he found his man, newcomer, number 20, Tyler Homard, the Cannon, Ohio native, but a good save there made by Blake Scott, and quickly the other way. It's Port Huron between the circles. Brandt, scoop save. That was close. Brandt had to scoop that one up and make sure no rebound was opportune there.
Stephen Fowler had a great pass there to Tyler Homard, just couldn't finish, and part of that, you got to credit Blake Scott. That was a fantastic effort by him.
Blake Scott showing why he is 9-0, looking for his double-digit win on the season. Again, make sure, join us tomorrow night on the YouTube stream, or come out to Mentor Ice Arena where tickets start at just $13. Free parking, $16 for reserve bleachers. Nato winds up there, but it's stick clash off Joe Pace Jr.'s stick. And it's Pucks and Paws. Register your pup if you're interested. You don't have to bring a pup, but you can. Do that at MentorIcebreakers.com. Puck drop at 6:30. Moroso tries to sneak one in. Corner rebound. Brandt's pulled out. Icebreakers cover. And the low supine save made there by Brandt. Hard board up here at the other end to Zilkanic, from Zilkanic to Blake Nada. And I see Blake Nada now sporting a mustache. You can see that from the Breakers broadcast booth up here.
That's old news. You haven't noticed the Nada stash yet?
I have not noticed the Nada stash to that extent. I knew he had one, but it is clearly visible now from up at our perch. You gonna grow a mustache like that, Jared? You can just shave off the rest of the beard, keep the mustache?
Yeah, if only I could.
Well, you could. You have a mustache. 5 minutes now left in the second period. And it's 28-23 shot on goal. Mentor tries to sneak one past there. That was Paul Hanna. And a 5-2 lead for these Prowlers. Look at Blake Scott's position there. Even though the puck was behind the net, he was in full extension mode there.
Looks like an icebreaker got hauled down in front of the net. That's going to be an interference call against the Prowlers, I would think.
Cycling back to get it is the Claremont, California native, Henry Berger. Now behind the net. Feeling the forecheck there from Dalton Jay. Good move by Henry Berger. Beats his man right side. And now a whistle. 4:18 remaining.
Yeah, good job by Dalton Jay touching up there. Joe Pace take the interference call and always has some fun in the penalty box.
Joe Pace tossing some substance into the air. Having a good old time. I'll never forget his tumble into the box when the Prowlers swept the Icebreakers here about a month ago. He had a goal that weekend too. You don't always see Joe Pace pick up a goal with a 4-6-10 scoring line, but he adds a lot out there in a lot of different ways. Little team glue from Joe Pace Jr.
The Port Huron Prowlers penalty to number
Native
13,
from Chicago,
Joe Pace
Illinois.
Jr. 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Cross-checking's the call against Pace Jr. Slam on the referee on the big board says so. Nice little backhand pass there from Newberg. And back on the Lake Health power play for the next minute 33. Again, want to thank Lake Health for providing training facilities as well as their medical and athletic training staff tonight and at every game. They do a wonderful job. And things slowed down a bit, at least offensively. There was 5 goals over 5 minutes collectively between the two teams. Definitely awoke the crowd here. Feeds the pass back now to Horvath, the Toledo, Ohio native. Newberg's trying to get away from his man. Contrato was all over him. Young able to retrieve the puck, and they'll send that off Brad's pad. It took a dangerous bounce, and Zulkanic almost was able to come in, slide, and poke it through. And the Thunder have officially snapped that losing streak at 13 games. They scored 1 goal for each game they lost in a row. 13-2 winners over the yellow and black attack. You think they're looking for a late playoff push?
I'm sure that's exactly what's on their mind. They got Battle Creek 7, I guess 6 now out of their next 10 games. Those other 4 games are against the Icebreakers, so the Thunder still control their own fate.
And unfortunately for one of the hard-working Battle Creek teams, I mean, they never quit each night. They pick up loss number 40 tonight. It's been a tough go for them. Last team to join the party. No expansion draft for them. Yes, for the other expansion teams. Didn't really start assembling the team till September, and they have had more transactions throughout the year than maybe half of the teams combined this year. Henry Berger crosses blue line into the neutral zone, across the other blue line, winds up, puts some steam behind that one, and goes off the backboards. So quick, though, on the counter. Here come the Prowlers. That's Justin Portillo, the Toledo native. And it bounces off the post and around Brand in a circle, and it's 6-2 Prowlers.
I mean, that's just the last thing the Icebreakers need right now. Just an unfortunate bounce off the pad of Jordan Brandt, and that's going to hurt. Put the Prowlers up by 4 goals, their largest lead of the night, with only 1:59 left in the second period.
And that went hard off the right post and then right around Brandt. And it's a tough thing, definitely a momentum killer there against Mentor. I mean, they were showing some great signs of life, still some great energy, but I don't know. 6-2 is going to be a tough task to overcome for the guys in double blue tonight, but I think a great stepping stone in the right direction as the team tries to move forward with all the new faces. Minute 59 now on the clock.
Goal, his 20th of the season, scored by number 91, Justin Portillo. He assists to number 4, Rob Easterbrook, and number 19, Austin Federley.
Easterbrook and Federley on the double assist, and congrats to Justin Portillo picking up goal number 20 on the season. Portillo joins Federley J with 20-plus goals on the season in a Prowler uniform.
That's impressive. Having 3 guys with 20-plus goals. I mean, just having 1 is huge in this league.
A flurry of shots here. Brandt's got to be all over it and eventually just uses his stick to trap it in left post. Not to mention Matt Graham doesn't have 20 goals, but he's right there with 17, and 48 more assists. And
for Justin Portillo, you know, before this season in his career, he never had more than 8 goals in a year, and all of a sudden he's got 20 goals, 18 assists, coming up on 40 points for the season. So really an impressive way to kind of revamp your career.
always been a talented player, but kind of put it all together this year. And a minute 16, now all of a sudden the Prowlers 10 shot on goal ahead at 33-23, and in that stretch they've added 2 more goals. So it's been a strong stretch since that flurry of goals, and I think you got to tip your hat really to the fact that Port Huron has that experience and chemistry out there. Menor had the excitement and the flurry of action. Port Huron shows their veteran leadership and settles down and just takes care of business at the other end of the ice.
You'll enjoy convenient hours, state-of-the-art exercise equipment, and a friendly, experienced staff.
And you've seen a really well put together period here from the Prowlers. Of course, the Icebreakers broke through for those 2 goals, but 4 goals by Port Huron, and a couple of them were just really well-designed plays by the Prowlers.
1 minute, now less than 1 minute remaining.
Last weekend was Cancer Awareness Night, and a lot donated to the Scott Hamilton Cares Foundation for the Frozen 5K and, of course, the Teddy Bear Toss. But tonight's 50-50 receives half of the pot, and the other half going to the Scott Hamilton Cares Foundation. So continuing helping out some great causes here in Ohio. Scott Hamilton, Bowling Green graduate. Now the Prowlers feed that one across the blue line. Only 27 seconds left in this period, up 6-2. Menor's got to get out of here, not giving up any more goals, and go in and see what worked and what didn't in the second period, because there definitely was both. Moroso, a rare miscommunication between him and Dalton J. They've hooked up for a couple goals tonight. 10 seconds now left in the second period. 6-2's the score. Prowlers with the lead. 5 seconds left. They're stuck over there in the near corner. 2-1. Able to rattle off a shot is Henry Berger, but we're going to go into the second intermission. All tied up. We're not all tied up. 6-2 Prowlers. That would be great if we were tied up at 6 or 2, but no, it's the Prowlers up 6-2. And here's how it happened. It was a wild 5-minute stretch, and it started off at 15:30 remaining, and Dalton J scored off the double assist for Moroso and Zilkanich. Just 28 seconds later, Crawford found Rapone for his first goal in FPHL history, right to left. And then just about a minute and a half later at the 13:35 mark, Moroso scored. 16 seconds later, another right to left score. Stephen Fowler and Thomas Stewart Dan, who picked up his 10th point, for Dimitri Daniluk for his second goal of the season. From that point forward, though, it was all Port Huron. Dalton J got the beautiful assist to Moroso, and Contrado was in on that as well. And then with 1:59 remaining, hard off the right post, it circled around Brandt off Justin Portillo's shot. The double assist from Rob Easterbrook and Austin Federley. So as we head to the second intermission, the Labatt Blues second intermission, the score is Port Huron 6 and Menor 2. And looking forward to the third period. So many new faces out there. What would you say, Jared, is what you would ultimately want to see, well, other than an Icebreakers win, over the next 20 minutes of hockey?
Definitely an improved defensive effort. I think there's been a lot of miscommunications on that end, and it's resulted in a couple of those Prowlers breakaways, and all that speed and skill out front for Port Huron. You just can't give those up against this team, and you're seeing now, right now, why you can't. 6-2, 6 goals on the game and 4 in the second period.
Well, we're going to head to the Labatt Blues second intermission. They're going to do some chuckle puck here. Slam getting the Fanatics ready here on Game Show Night. It's the Prowlers 6, the Icebreakers 2. You're listening on YouTube.com. Welcome back to the tundra that is known as Menor Ice Arena on the coldest night ever inside here. But the action's been pretty red hot as the Prowlers up 6-2 on your Icebreakers. And we're going to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard here momentarily. Jared will do that, and then Jared's so nice he'll bring up our Vitamix saves of the period too, because that's the kind of guy Jared is. He's the kind of guy you could count on.
I'm going to go ahead and let you do the saves first real quick here.
All right, thank you, Jared. That little assist, and on that period with the Icebreakers scoring 2, 8 saves made by Blake Scott, and the Prowlers added 4 more goals, giving Jordan Brandt 13 saves on the period. That's brought to you by Vitamix. As always, fueling you from practice to game day, our blenders help you fuel your performance and feed your life.
And looking around the league, 13-2 final between Delaware and Battle Creek. That was Anton Kalinin scoring 6 goals. From what I can tell, I believe that ties the FPHL record. Not 100% sure on that. But 6-4 Elmira over Danville tonight. Carolina and Watertown still tied up 1-1. And then Columbus clinging to a 3-2 lead over Danbury.
Elmira, is that win number 6 or 7 in a row for the Enforcers?
Have to check the fact sheet for that one. For Elmira, that's win number 7 in a row, and I believe that's 12 of their last 13 they've won, so the Enforcers are just charging up the standings, and if Columbus can hold on again tonight, then looks like Elmira will be within 1 point of first place in the Eastern Division.
Wow, that's impressive, because Danbury had a sizable lead on everyone, and at one point Elmira was in 4th of the Eastern Division. Now they've clearly moved up to 2nd, knocking on the door of 1st. A lot of big scores for them, too.
Yeah, and in that game between Elmira and Danville tonight, the Enforcers scored the first 3 goals of the game, had a 3-0 lead midway through the second period, and all of a sudden Danville erupted for 4 straight goals to take a 4-3 lead early in the third period. And then it was 3 more goals from Elmira unanswered to take that 6-4 win, and it's Kent Nussbaum here.
Yeah, I was going to say, hold the phone, hold the phone. We said we weren't going to see Kent Nussbaum probably until Sunday in Delaware. Well, strike that, reverse it. We are going to see him. He was signed just yesterday. 6'6", 180 pounds from Temperance, Michigan. Before playing the FPHL, he was on the Long Beach Bombers of the WSHL from 14 to 16. 3 different teams in the GMHL from 16 to 17. And then last year was 0-1 with a 3.67 goals allowed and a 9.22 save percentage for Watertown was the lefty. He was actually a member of the Icebreakers training camp in 2018 and has been a backup for 6 ECHL teams in 1 appearance.
0-0-5. Again,
So that's interesting, Jared, where Sebastian Rangel electing to see what he's got from the recent pickup.
Yeah, I think it makes sense at this point. No reason to leave Brandt out there, especially after, wasn't really his best night overall, but he's probably going to be starting again tomorrow, so you want to have him well rested for another matchup against these Prowlers.
So a good call there by head coach Ragnow, and also see what you got. Look how big he is back there in that frame is the new Kent Nussbaum. So it'll be interesting to see what he brings here to the table, making his Icebreaker debut. For tomorrow, I'll tell you how many guys have now taken the ice because it's been a slew. We don't usually get them in this sort of bunches, but I know we're into the 70s of guys wearing double blue now over the first 2 years. And whistle on the ice at 18:55 remaining here. And don't forget, the Ultimate Icebreakers experience is the Founders Room. Enjoy restaurant quality food and meet Icebreakers players at each and every home game. Tickets start at just $30 and available at menoricebreakers.com or calling 440-290-8502. And the Icebreakers, don't forget, Kids Club, something to be back next year as well. Junior Icebreakers Kid Club. More information, menoricebreakers.com.
Number 72, Zachary Zolkinich. 2 minutes for interference. Zolkinich, a 2-minute minor.
A little bit quick on the whistle there was the officials. Nussbaum was looking to get the Icebreakers on another break, but not sure why you blow the whistle there. The team's on the power play. Nussbaum did not hold on to the puck for that long.
So the Icebreakers on the power play. Zolkinich, minute 50 in the box. Face off right defensive circle in front of Nussbaum. Tallest goalie I would go on record for saying that it's taken between the pipes for Menor.
We've had some big goalies this year between Rodebush, Brandt, and now Nussbaum.
And Jordan Brandt, not much of a slouch as well in the height department, as He clocks in at 6'4". Grant, Rodebush, of course, had McClendon for a brief spell. Then last year, Derek Moser, John Selly Hansen. Congrats to Selly Hansen's overseas European team making the playoffs. Wind-up shot deflects high into the air off the pads there of Blake Scott. Rebound by Newberg. And, of course, the first guy to take between the pipes for Mentor was Matt Camilleri. Rebound bounces back off the pads there. Still in play, Dominic Horvath. He's had a nice night tonight, and some strong passing here by the Icebreakers in the last couple of periods. I'd like to see if these guys could stick around a little bit and see once the chemistry could come together, because they've had some decent looks together, just not knowing the tendencies of their teammates.
Yeah, overall, defense has been the bigger problem area tonight against this Prowlers team. Too many fast breaks and too many opportunities to their top scorers.
So one thing, the defense still looking to shore that up, but I do think a little bit more of offensive action than we've seen as of late for Mentor. So that is at least a welcome sign for Fanatics listening at home.
I think it's not in terms of shots on goal or actual goals scored. It's just the quality of chances that they're generating has been better than they've had in recent weeks, which is, at the very least, it's progress.
Nada had a chance for a turn and shoot, but couldn't get quite control of the puck. 17:02 remaining now in the third period of play. Thanks again for listening here on YouTube.com. Goes hard off the stick there from Rob Easterbrook. And now down at the other length of the ice, Kent Nussbaum making his debut, number 1, the Temperance, Michigan native. 6'6", 180, lefty. We'll see what he brings when he gets challenged shots on goal. Oh, Nada gets tripped up there by Easterbrook. His stick just wedged in between his skates. Nada back up, traps it with his foot, and now bounced off his, the pads there. And just a good rush by Paul Hanna, but he was just a little out of position to get a shot off on goal. Now the Prowlers work it into the defensive zone of the Icebreakers. Nussbaum will leave it there for his teammate. Comes behind the net, avoids the forecheck. Port Huron waves it off momentarily. Zolkanich stands waiting, though. 16:04 remaining. 36-27 shot on goal in favor of the Prowlers. FPHL Friday night action. We'll do it again tomorrow night on Saturday, 6:30. Pucks and Paws. Puck drop will be started about 10 minutes earlier. That one goes right around the perimeter of the net. Now from the blue line, feeds it up center, looking for a deflection. Dominic Horvath trying to get that puck out of the danger zone. Prowlers working behind the net. Wind-up shot and a nice save made there by Nussbaum. Reaches over before Jake can poke it through from the slot. I want to thank Wingate by Wyndham Lamalt for the preferred hotel for the Mentor Icebreakers. Visitors coming from in and out of town can take advantage of special room rates when mentioning the Mentor Icebreakers corporate rate when making reservations. And Spuddy's Tavern, the preferred restaurant of Mentor Icebreakers. Spuddy's Tavern, located Mentor on the Lake, will give fans 10% off their bill after Icebreakers home games when you bring in a ticket stub. All the reason to get here. I had a game at Mentor Ice Arena. Tickets start at just $13. That one goes hard off the back glass, stays in play. And nice board up there, made by another one of the newcomers, Ty Rickabaugh, the Johnstown, PA native. Played out of the WSHL. Now, if I'm correct, Jared, I don't know if I got all my homework and ducks in a row here. Now, you have actually done some writing in the past for the WSHL.
Used to do some of their weekly preview content. It was actually while Ty was with the Blazers. That's why I recognize that name.
So, can you give us any insight at all for somebody that none of us have seen take to the ice here in the FPHL?
No, because I didn't watch him play either. Okay. I just wrote about him.
But you were familiar with the name.
I was familiar with the name. A lot of WSHL guys actually ended up in this league. Looking at Columbus, Ivan Bondarenko, one of their better scorers, was in that league. The same Blazers team that Rickabaugh was with, I believe.
I believe the net came off there. Fowler had a fast rush in, but couldn't get off the edge of his stick. They haven't waved off. The net's got to be off now. And eventually a whistle on the ice. Get your tally marker out, Jared.
I'll count that one. That's number 4 on Blake Scott. Still 2 for Jordan Brand.
Oh, I didn't realize you had him. I didn't realize you had him tally by player. That's good. JD Cleaners is the preferred dry cleaners for the Mentor Icebreakers, where customer service is their priority. They take pride in customer satisfaction by providing quality dry cleaning and laundering services while making the drop-off and pickup of delivery your clothing pleasant and speedy. That's JD Cleaners. Face off here, coming for the right defense circle. Stuart Dant, the captain, going up against Matt Graham. And now behind the net, trying to feed it forward and into the neutral zone. Now back into the Icebreakers defensive zone. Nussbaum. He's got some pretty cool pads there. Is that like orange lightning bolts on the graphite pads?
Yeah, definitely something new. We've seen all kinds of different designs on our starting goaltenders pads. You look back last year, Derek Moser had those bright yellow pads from Iowa State, the
Bus
Cyclones.
stops. That's why we called him Bus Stop, because he would make those saves and he had those yellow.
You know, I'm going to be honest. I think it was just you that called him Bus Stop, but that's okay.
Wow, Jared, really?
It's okay.
Gonna just throw me out like that. It's okay, but Bus Stop, I think, it was a fitting nickname. He had the yellow pads. He made saves and stops in goal. I'll let you give Nussbaum then his nickname based off his pad choice.
I have to think about that one. Maybe I'll have one tomorrow night.
They're pretty cool looking, though. That graphite gray with a kind of a neon orange sort of thunderbolt on them. Might as well come out in style if you're going to make your debut.
Yeah, we missed it, but looks like Tyler Homard's in the box for the Icebreakers for 2 minutes. We'll have to get the official ruling on that penalty. Prowlers get their second power play of the night.
At 25% mark they are at, and they'll be on that 5-4 advance for the next minute 35.
Hooking call on Homard.
Rupert was looking for a hat trick, then trying to clear it out of the way, Nato, but he takes a spill to the ice. Rupert to Federley, winds up in it, sends a hard one coming in at Nussbaum. So how about this? The Prowlers will test Nussbaum, that's for sure. They have a lot of weapons, wind up closer in the slot, and Nussbaum did his best. He came out to take it out, but he went opposite corner, and the Prowlers add their 7th one of the night and make it 7-2. Here at 13:34 remaining in the third period.
And that one only took 46 seconds. It was kind of bound to happen the way Port Huron was teeing off, and the Icebreakers just could not get it clear. And against that power play unit, they're going to, I mean, that's what they do. They just pepper your goaltender until, one slips through like that one did right there. We'll see who was the official scorer on that one.
And the Prowlers' 41st shot on goal gets their 7th one in. And make it 7-2 here, just over halfway, or just under halfway, excuse me, in the third period of play. And the Prowlers rolling here.
It's going to be credited to Jonathan Giuliano, Matt Rupert, and Matt Graham with the assist. So Rupert has a 3-point night going, 2 goals and an assist.
And we said it was unbelievable that Matt Graham and all of his points had been kept off the scoring line this far, but he will change things now and pick up his 49th assist. A 17-49-66 scoreline, just so quick, right to left to the slot, and the score made by the Prowlers. And with Danville losing tonight, despite a tough effort against Elmira, the Prowlers will maintain strong positioning of 2nd in the Western Division. And, I was thinking that Danville score, you said they scored in bunches. It seems like all the Danville games, they give up a bunch of goals, then they score a bunch of goals.
Either that or they don't score a lot, but neither does the other team. It's kind of no in between with the Dashers this season.
Yeah, it's very momentum-swinging games when you play the guys out of David S. Palmer Arena. Now Moroso here at Mentor Ice Arena crosses the blue line, bounces off the back wall with 12:22 remaining. Icebreakers, I think, I would just like to see something where you hang your hat on here in the third period, so it wasn't just the second period. I want to see some opportunities, I know a lot to expect from a lot of these guys just making their debut either on their first practice yesterday or getting signed yesterday, first practice today, or today, and not having had a practice yet with the team, but just something where you end the game with a little momentum going forward into another tough matchup with these Prowlers tomorrow night.
I mean, right now there's not a ton to build off of, especially in this period. It's really been all Port Huron, but Icebreakers will have a chance here as Austin Weber heads to the penalty box. 12-12 to go in the period.
Icebreakers back on the Lake Health Power Play. I want to thank Lake Health for providing medical staff for tonight's game as well as training facilities for players to use all season long. At the Live Healthy Fitness Center, the Brunner Sand and Dietrich Wellness Campus right here at Mentor, you'll enjoy convenient hours, state-of-the-art exercise equipment, and a friendly, experienced staff. A membership offers everything you need to help you reach your health and fitness goals. 12:09 remaining, minute 57 in that Lake Health Power Play. That one bounces right in front of Blake. Scott, and Blake Scott's keeping that 2.36 goal line. We were wondering about in the second period if that would keep up, but now he's staying 0.36 under that goal marker.
So another penalty against the Prowlers. If I was Menor, I was going to say, you got to let them touch up here.
Nussbaum pulled, and Icebreakers look to capitalize, and a whistle, though, right after.
So smart play by Graham, not touching up right away to get some of that time off the clock, but the Icebreakers will have their best chance of the night here with minute 31 of 5-on-3 power play time.
So they had a, Nussbaum wasn't quite sure about the pull, obviously his first action here in the FPHL this season, and it comes off to the call to Ragno, and Icebreakers looking to capitalize here. Nussbaum will resume his post, but how about this 5-on-3 hockey coming up for the first time tonight, and it's in favor of the guys at double blue, as it's two Prowlers in the box, Austin Weber and Dalton Young, the Marysville, Michigan native. We'll do a face-off right defensive circle. Thanks again listening wherever you are tonight. Menor, Ohio, Port Huron, Michigan, anywhere in between or beyond. Finds the newcomer, McKenzie there, and he just misses right outside post. Icebreakers got to do something here. Down 7-2, 11:22 remaining. Federley's stick goes flying into the air. He's still trying to wedge it out with his feet. That was a unique effort by Austin Federley. And now trying to clear that puck. It's stuck between sticks and feet. Finally, Fowler has it, feeds it over to Daniel, just outside the left circle. Back to Stuart Dan. Wind up for Fowler! And a beautiful save made there.
Yeah, it's tough for the Icebreakers. Fowler looked like he didn't really get anything on that slap shot because Austin Fairley lost his stick. It was essentially 5-on-2 out there. He couldn't get it done.
48 seconds in the penalty against Weber. 117 against Dalton Young. And 11 minutes even on the scoreboard. 41-31 shot on goal in favor of the guys in white, red, and black, moving left to right this period. Icebreakers right to left in their dark blue, light blue and white trim, white numbers. Face off now will be Zolkanich and Newberg. Newberg's been taking a decent amount of the draws as of late. Now Daniel from the outside half of that left circle, or excuse me, Horvath. Horvath to steal. Had a chance for a deflection, did Daniel and Newberg, but here comes Jay. Jay's pickpocketed though. Although a nice effort by Zolkanich. Although stolen there by Mark Steele. Crosses blue line between the circles. Looking. He's got Horvath flanking with the left. He'll go right to Stuart Dant. Stuart Dant back. Now feeds it. Steele between the circles. Can't get it off the edge of his stick. Almost stolen by Dalton Jay, and he would have been able to take that coast to coast, but instead it's dumped behind the net. Only 10 seconds in the first power play, 37 seconds in the other one. Port Huron up 7-2 on Menor. Menor on an 11-game slide, trying to finish this game strong. One power play gone, 5-on-4 hockey for the next 24 seconds. Nussbaum sends it all the way across the blue line. Wind up Newberg. Daniel was on the other side of the post. He needed to be right side for the rebound. And now Port Huron up to Weber. Fresh shift here and takes a hard hit there from an incoming Fowler. Now behind the net, Federley will retrieve the puck.
Well, 5 seconds left in that last Port Huron penalty. I think the Icebreakers kind of put on a clinic on how not to run a 5-on-3 there. That was a little bit ugly.
Yeah, they had a lot of passes with miscommunication, timing, and some of that expected with the lack of chemistry for all the new guys. But either way, no dice there for Menor. Official jumps out of the way. That one goes into the bench. And 9:28. And we want to remind you of our great off-ice official crew. Scott Tennant on the PA announcer, Greg Butala, Greg Kopp, Fred Hayer, Russell Ralla, Joe Knight, Brandon Cottis, and Daniel Savitz as Slam throws out some Fanatic t-shirts here for Menor Ice Arena's faithful. Taylor Ruyer on game day operations, Frank Schmidt operations intern through Menor High School's business program, Larry Rummel, Al Moon, and Lawrence Rummel spinning the tunes here at Menor Ice Arena on the sound crew. Jared Tennant, communications manager, will be providing game recaps at the end of the weekend, and on color commentary, and Casey Healy on the video stream providing you the feed for tonight, the intern through Auburn Career Center's interactive multimedia technology program. You look ahead to tomorrow night, it's the same team in town, and then the Dashers on Sunday night. The road doesn't necessarily get easier for Menor.
And looking ahead it's hard to believe, but after this weekend, the Icebreakers only have 4 home games left in the season. They're about to kick off a stretch where 9 out of their next 10 games are on the road. So, like you said, things just don't get easier from here. You got to dig deep and try to snap this losing streak.
And that schedule wasn't easier before, and they had 6 road games in a row after the scheduling change. Now 4 at home, and then, like you said, 9 of the next 10. So we'll have the game free tomorrow night at 6:30. We'll be back at it on Sunday, March 8th for a 3 o'clock start against Delaware. And then for the first time maybe all season, I think, we get a trio of games over a long weekend, March 27th, 28th, and 29th, where we'll play Watertown on 2 evening games on Friday and Saturday, and finish the last homestand, barring a playoff home game, on Sunday, March 29th at 3 o'clock versus Watertown. Now, for the FPHL playoffs, obviously Icebreakers didn't make it their first season. Is the format a best of 3 where you rotate where the game is being played?
Well, every single series is best of 3 from the semifinals and the divisions all the way up to the Commissioner's Cup finals between the 2 division winners. I believe it's lower seeded team hosts the first game and the higher seeded team hosts the next 2.
Okay, so if Mentor does make the playoffs, they would get to host their first playoff game. Hey, the net came off there. No whistle, though. 42-33 shots on goal in favor of the Prowlers. So that would be cool, all things aside, with the challenges of the season. Giuliano gloves that one down and flips it forward, and the low bending over save made there by Nussbaum. But that would be pretty cool to get to host a playoff game for the first time here for Mentor Ice Arena. 8:43 remaining here in the third period. Right now, a lot of work to get done before the playoffs are a reality, as despite having that 20-point lead on Delaware, assuming they cannot come back and perform a miracle of ice of sorts on the Prowlers tonight, Delaware would pick up 3 points, and 3 points in the advantage. They already picked up 3, but they would be 3 closer and trail only by 17 points in the Eastern Division standings. Now skating the other way. Nada leaves it for McKenzie, who tried to get it back to Nada. Give and go. That's who almost scored in the first period. They had a nice little passing play between number 9 and 10, but no score.
Brendan McKenzie with a few really nice passing plays. Hasn't been rewarded with an assist tonight, but I think it's definitely coming in the near future for him to keep this up.
Yeah, McKenzie was one of a couple players 3 picked up yesterday. Lefty forward from Steubenville, Ontario, Canada on February 27th. Picked up the 5'7", 150-pounder. Played for the Windsor Aces of the GMHL in 17-18. And with the New York Renegades of the same league last year, where he had a 21-27, 48 scoreline. And right there, picking up his second goal as a Mentor Icebreaker is Josh Newberg, ending the drought of 3 unanswered for Port Huron. So Josh Newberg puts the Icebreakers back on the board, and it is now a 7-3 game.
Definitely an important goal just morale-wise to, you got to play these guys again tomorrow night, so you want to get something going here in this third period and just have some positive vibes head into the locker room after this game.
And that's what we were talking about, was something to hang your hat on the third period. The second period was strong, despite Port Huron adding a few more. It's been a second period woes for Mentor Icebreakers all season long. So now the third period, they get a little excitement again. Newberg with the score, his second of the season. I believe he scored in his first Icebreaker game. And an all-new scoring line there, as Josh Lemke, number 14, and McKenzie finally gets an effort paying off for all of his strong passes tonight. Joshua Lemke was signed on yesterday as well with McKenzie, and he is a 6'1", 205 defender from Cleveland, Ohio. Right, he played with the Kingsville Kings at 2 cents with team, 15, 16, 18, 19. He picks up his first assist and point.
I'm going to say we spoke that one into existence, actually, because we were just talking about it, and lo and behold, a minute later, gets his first assist as an Icebreaker.
Yeah, both McKenzie and Lemke first assist.
Yeah, so we can't take credit for that one.
We can't.
That's good for us.
I'm glad we get a little credit for a score. Usually it's our fault. And when we you say, oh, we jinxed it, or you jinxed it, or somebody jinxed it. And so Newberg picks up his second goal. 2 guys pick up their first assist, Lemke and McKenzie. and earlier it was Rapone. So 3 guys that have picked up in the last 2 days who have had a maximum of 1 practice and a minimum of 0 practices have accounted for 3 points on the scoring line tonight. Not all goals, but we have 3 goals, and that means somebody new was on each of them. That is impressive, Jared. Coming off the bus, joining a team of guys they have no clue who they are, what they're about, and getting involved in the scoring right off the bat.
I'm definitely impressed by some of the efforts from the newcomers tonight. Didn't really expect this, to be honest.
Well, the one thing I wondered, and we are seeing, is that I knew there would be hunger because I know some of them were part-time opportunities. Maybe some were going to be more longer team, but you knew they'd be hungry, getting a chance to play from the area and have a chance to make something happen here from the area. And you got to be impressed with that as we get set for the draw, that they were hungry and they have capitalized.
Now, one thing to note here before the play starts is Watertown just took down Carolina 2-1 in a shootout. The Thunderbirds had 72 shots on goal.
Wow. And another one for the Icebreakers! I don't want to say anything, Jared, but I guess I'll say it that in the Labatt Blues second intermission, I said I could see this one ending 7-4, and we're not even done.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see a veteran guy there, Josh Newberg, getting a couple of late goals here in this game. You know, like we said, just getting some positive morale in the locker room heading into tomorrow night, get some confidence. You know,
the Icebreakers might not win tonight, but if you think they've quit, you have mistaken them for another team. All things aside, they are going to play this season out with all their heart and grit and find the guys out there on the ice to try to make this happen. So how about Newberg, though? 2 goals in 1 minute and 59 seconds for Josh Newberg. He had 1 goal coming in. And McKenzie and Nada on the double assist. How about Brendan McKenzie with 2 assists over a stretch of 1 minute 59? That's impressive.
Yeah, I think right now, this is the first time the Icebreakers have scored 4 goals in a game since their last win on
Remember,
January 20th.
you said, can we get to 4 again? Like that Battle Creek victory. It might not be a victory, but they've gotten back to 4. Horvath tries to sneak it through. They are playing hard, and you can feel that renewed energy like in that stretch in the second period where this team feels like they can believe and score against a strong defensive team like Port Huron. And not to take anything away from Blake Nada, who also picks up his 7th assist and 8th point with a 1-7-8 scoreline, does the Brooklyn, Ohio native. But these new guys have jumped right into the fold and said, I'm hungry, feed me. And they have done that and shown that they have contributed on all 4 goals tonight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a 7-4 game right now. Port Huron's going to win this one more than likely, but at the end of the day, it's definitely a step in the right direction for Josh Newberg and this Icebreakers offense. It's been a while since we've seen this many goals in a game, which is sad to say, but it's just the reality right now.
5:10 remaining in the third period. This team's battling with the second-place Western Division team and picking up some points on Carolina if they win tonight, Port Huron. But either way, we talked about Port Huron's one of the deepest teams. They're veteran-led, and these youngsters who just got off the bus yesterday or today have joined in with the remaining Icebreakers into the fold. Nice hip check there by Newberg. He's contributing on both ends of the ice, and they've jumped right in, and they are challenging this Port Huron team. I think they have Port Huron a little bit rattled, not rattled to where they don't think that Port Huron can handle Mentor and do so with their strengths, but I don't know if they quite expected this effort from the Icebreakers newcomers.
I mean, it took one look at the Icebreakers roster pregame. You see all these guys, no pro experience, so you wouldn't really expect much of a fight, but definitely encouraging results here in the third period.
4:21 remaining in the game, and Blake Scott scoops it over. And how about this? Blake Scott, we talked about, only gives up 2.36 a game, 2 goals, 2.36 goals per game, and a 9.42 save percentage, a 9-0 record. These newcomers have added 4 goals against a quality goaltender. And how about this number? Port Huron 43 shots on goal, Mentor 4, and scoring on 1 of every 10. That is a definite improvements all around for the guys in double blue.
I was just about to point that out, how Port Huron was just leading shots on goal by a 41-29 margin. Since then, it's been 11-2 in favor of the Icebreakers.
And I believe it was 43-33 when I looked over correctly, which would mean that the Icebreakers have rattled off the last 7 in a row. So if you're Coach Sebastian Ragno, if you're an Icebreaker, if you're a Fanatic, you are seeing those new signs of renewed life, and that whether win or lose tonight and in this series, this is a team that is not going to quit on their passionate fan base. They're not going to quit on their teammates. They're not going to quit on their coach, and they are going to battle this season out and try to make something happen. McKenzie in the slot to Newberg. Oh, and just the extension made there by Blake Scott. That was another nice pass, and McKenzie almost picked up a goal and his 3rd point tonight.
Yeah, that was a great save by Blake Scott. Just extended the blocker right on the goal line and was able to keep that one out somehow. But how about Brendan McKenzie on that play, taking it right off the faceoff and creating a scoring chance?
Nato with a hard wrist shot, plenty of steam by a tangled up hip check there, takes down Easterbrook. And now the puck's open, but Blake Scott will leap out and grab it. Nato had a chance to race it to the slot, but couldn't get there in time. A lot going on there. Blake Scott, yes, that a tremendous save. Got to tip your hat to the Prowlers goaltender, but a lot of action here, and so close to picking up goal number 5 was Brendan McKenzie. Little family feel. I like that. Looks like it's going to be let's make some noise, and the survey says top ones.
And Brendan McKenzie, I think you saw behind the net on that play. Looked like Giuliano wanted to go with him, but McKenzie listed at 5'7", 150. I don't think he's going to be fighting anybody anytime soon.
But he has been providing the fight out there in other ways, picking up 2 assists and a near goal opportunity. Really like the passing from him, and almost scores from the left side of the slot there. So 3:29 remaining, and the Icebreakers only 1 shot off tying 43. I can't remember the last time the Icebreakers had 40-plus shots on goal either.
Yeah, it's been a while, and it's been a while since they outshot an opponent here with 3:30 left in the game. That'd be another positive step in the right direction if they can keep control and play over these final few minutes.
So if you're Coach Ragnow, you have to like the fight you've seen over the last 2 periods. It hasn't all been pretty. There's been some defense. Obviously, shore up. Can't win too many games in the FPHL against quality teams, giving up 7 goals. But a renewed sense of energy, especially offensively, and the new guys providing a spark and a jolt.
Yeah, I think when you're a team like the Icebreakers, having lost double-digit losing streak now at this point, you got to take what you can get. But right now, these are first real positive signs we've seen of improvement in some time now.
Yeah, to have 42 shots on goal, to have 4 goals for the first time since January 20th. You're talking about icing call there. It's February 28th all of a sudden. February ends tomorrow. It has been over a month, about 5 weeks, since the Icebreakers have scored 4 goals in a game. Yes, that was in a win. This looking to be in a loss despite another flurry in the last 3 minutes. But either way, that's a turning the corner moment when you could do something you haven't done in 5 weeks.
I think the important thing for the Icebreakers right now is how they're going to respond tomorrow against this exact same team. Obviously, the Prowlers are going to be motivated. They're in a race right now to potentially close the gap between themselves and Carolina, or at least hold on to that 2nd seed and get home ice advantage in the first round of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. So Port Huron still has plenty to play for.
Newberg tips himself to McKenzie. He looked to go bar down, but somehow goes off of Blake Scott's glove and stays out of the net.
I mean, that's 2 unreal saves from Blake Scott on Brendan McKenzie this period. It should be a 7-6 game right now, but Blake Scott just, oh my.
And if it was 7-6, I would wonder if the Icebreakers could tie this up and go to regulation. Now 7-4 is going to be a bit of a tall task still, but wow, not from a lack of effort. Brendan McKenzie has joined right into the fold, and he has really provided some fire out there on the ice. And you could tell, you look at the Fanatics here, and they are liking this sign, especially wondering who would take the ice this week? What would be the changes? What would be the result? And they are showing that fire coming back. Fowler crosses the blue line, dumps that one off to Homard. And now Prowlers will be able to get that into the neutral zone. Weber, between the circles, rattles off of Mark's steel stick. Only 1:24 left, but the Icebreakers have tied this up at 43 shots on goal. Oh, it'd be great if they were right there and it was 7-6 and could tie the game up with the shot on goal to take the lead in that category and to tie the game up, but not quite that. And a nice glove save. Blake Scott, although giving up 4, has shown those flourishes of some truly impressive saves in between the pipes for the visiting Prowlers.
Yeah, one big thing to take away from this game is it looks like Coach Ragnar might have found himself a pretty good second line there with Brendan McKenzie, Josh Newberg, and Blake Nato. They've produced each of the, or both of the goals this period.
And I've been impressed with Nada as well. He's really, so far, only added a lot of physicality, but now he's showing some offensive production down here as well, so a little more versatility, which is good to see. Icebreakers looking now to feed it forward, but Prowlers intercept that one off the stick, and 1 minute remaining, and the Icebreakers do take the shot on goal advantage, and now have rattled off the last 11 shots on goal.
I'm definitely excited next week to see hopefully Declan Conway back in the fold with this group,
Yeah,
as well as Tony Lampo and Talipov. You know, there's plenty to build off of here.
You add those missing pieces, not to mention Tim Perks, Richie Pinkowski, some role players on the team missing as well from injury. You add that all back in, and you can start to see a turnaround for Mentor. I mean, we talked about Talipov and the numbers that he's achieved, having a 18-51-69 scoreline over 58 games in the GMHL, and then Lampo adds some much-needed size as a forward at 6'3", 217, and some overseas experience, and then some time in the Rumblebees organization where he picked up 5 points over 9 games for the Bees. Now the Prowlers, 27 seconds left. They'll cross blue line, being challenged there by Ty Rickabaugh. It'll be fun to see what we get tomorrow night, that's for sure. 17.4 seconds left, 7-4. I'd like to see Mentor win the shot on goal. As long as they don't give up a Prowler goal over the last 10 seconds, the Icebreakers will win shot on goal. And I don't know how long it's been, but that'll be a good thing to look at, and we'll bring that to you tomorrow. And at center ice, the windup from Rickabaugh, dump behind the net, and we have a final from Mentor Ice Arena. The final is 7-4. It is a Prowlers victory. A strong Western Division team, but the Icebreakers bring the energy here. Portillo wanted to go with somebody over there for Mentor.
Yeah, a lot of those Prowlers are not too happy with Brendan McKenzie over the last few minutes. A couple of guys trying to go with him, but again, he's 5'7", 150. I mean, you can't really expect him to be dropping the gloves.
And I didn't see McKenzie provoke anyone. I think he provoked them in a different way by being a thorn in the side of the white, red, and black. So the Icebreakers trailed 7-2. They rebound, score 2, finish the third period the way we were hoping. 7-4. Jared loses his bet with only 6 nets coming off. I'll even give him one that should have been called at 7. So Jared looks like he can't retire tonight, although I didn't place a bet on predicting 7-4 coming into the third period, so therefore I don't get to retire either. We come back tomorrow night at 6:30, and I'm excited to see what we'll get here from Mentor Ice Arena.
Yeah, I think, honestly, you've heard me over the last few weeks talking about this team. I think this is the first time in a while that I've really been excited to see what's going to happen moving forward. You know, there's plenty of reason for optimism with some new guys coming in and some of the guys that are new this weekend that'll be sticking around. It's definitely exciting to see some improvement and some changes that maybe might have needed to happen. Excuse me.
Join us in person tomorrow. Tickets start at $13 with free parking for Pucks and Paws night. Puck drop at 6:30. And if you can't make it out or you're away in the Blue Water area or Mentor, turn it on youtube.com, Mentor Icebreakers channel, and we'll bring it to you around 6:20 for the conclusion of this 2-game home series before they take the trip to Danville. Once again, the final tonight, the Port Huron Prowlers 7, the Mentor Icebreakers 4. And until next time, we'll see you all later.